Patty, I want you to... Kathy, where's Patty?
I believe she's in her room, Aunt Natalie.
Didn't you do the dishes last night?
Yes.
And the night before that?
Patty and I always toss a coin, and I always lose. She is very lucky.
And I'll bet it's always her coin. Kathy, your cousin is taking advantage of you.
Oh, I don't mind doing these, Aunt Natalie. Patty had some homework to do.
What's she studying? Rock and roll?
Hi, Mom. Mom, you cut off the surfer swing.
Followed by your allowance.
Now, what have I done?
Nothing, Patty. You haven't done anything this week, last week, or the week before that.
Who can understand parents?
That includes the dishes, your homework, your room.
Do you want me to grow up to be a drudge?
Your cousin Kathy is in the kitchen doing your job.
Mom, I'm doing this for Kathy's sake. I mean, she's traveled around Europe all her life with her father, living in hotels. She never had a chance to wash dishes. I mean, that's not natural. We're giving her a chance to feel at home.
Forget it, Tom Sawyer. Your half of your room looks like a disaster area. Your clothes are in a mess.
Is this a private war? Can anybody join in?
I'm treated like slave labor. Susan Baxter got her own television today. Emily Johnson goes to the movies 3 times a week, and Richard gets to watch television as late as he likes.
Well, there's no problem there. Anything else?
Now that you ask, I need an increase in my allowance.
Your friendly loan company says no.
I see. Anything else?
Yes, you can give me that 2-headed coin, get into the kitchen, and start washing dishes.
That's my good luck coin.
Yes, I know.
You think we were too rough on her?
No, I don't care what Dr. Spock says. I say you have to grind them under your heel or else they'll rise up and get you.
Students, I've asked you to assemble here this morning to meet Mr. Snell. Mr. Snell is with the National Educational Testing Survey, and he's been going all over the country giving intelligence tests.
What's he doing here?
Good morning, students. The big news I bring is that automation has come to your schools. Our organization, NETS, has perfected a machine to range your intellectual capacities and problem-solving facility. This electronic device, TEACH, as we call it, will supply in 3 minutes your intelligence quota rating, your percentile group in your school, and your percentile group in the country. We're going to begin immediately. Thank you.
The testing will be done in the study hall.
Sit right down here, please. And your name, please?
Patty Lane.
This is TEACH, Technical Electronic Amplifier Code Handler.
Like hi.
Please. TEACH will ask you questions in various categories. You will type your answers on the typewriter keyboard, which is an input-output printer.
Spooky bit.
Oh, not at all. The typewriter is simply a device by which we communicate with computers. You are not to touch any of these buttons.
Okay.
machine is asking you to name 2 primary colors that make purple.
Red and blue.
Type your answer.
Oh.
Very good. The machine will feed you a new question every 15 seconds. If you miss one, just go on to the next. Blast off.
Name the origin of lac dye.
Just to get you started. It's derived from the Southern Asia lac insect.
Oh, sure. Give the 2 hypotheses of the kinetic theory of matter?
Take your time. You have 15 seconds.
Telephone call for you from Washington.
That must be the president of our company. You just stay with me. The machine will do everything automatically.
Give the latitude and longitude of Montevideo. Montevideo is... Define centrifugal force. Centrifugal force. Will you give me a chance to finish? Give the metric equivalent of 1 U.S. yard, 1 U.S. pound, 1 U.S. gallon. Metric equivalent. Multiply by 10. Or... You gotta be kidding!
Mr. Lane?
Yes?
I'm sorry to barge in on you like this. I'm Edwina Morgan, Patty's psychology teacher.
Oh, yes.
And I'm Mr. Snell of the National Educational Testing Survey. We've come to see you about a rather urgent matter.
What is it?
We'd prefer to talk to Mrs. Lane at the same time, if you don't mind.
Please come in.
Thank you.
This is Mrs. Lane, my son Ross,
How do you
Miss
do?
Morgan, Mr.
Snell.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Miss Morgan, won't you sit down?
Thank you.
Miss Morgan is Patty's psychology teacher, dear.
Did Patty mention taking an intelligence test today?
No, we're not on speaking terms.
If Patty flunked an intelligence test, it's because she wasn't trying.
Mrs. Lane, I've been giving these tests for the past 18 months in schools all over the country. Your daughter has set a new record.
I knew she could do it. Patty hit an all-time low.
An all-time high. I'm happy to inform you that Patty rates in the highest category of genius.
Patty who?
I'm afraid you must be mistaken, Mr. Snell. Patty's a bright, intelligent child, but I'd hardly call her a genius.
Our machine is incapable of making a mistake. I checked the results 7 times. 90 to 110 is average. The genius class ranges from 153 to 180. Patty's average was 185. 5 points above the top genius rating. Mr. Lane, your daughter's in a class with Michelangelo, Socrates, Da Vinci. Her mind is one of America's natural resources.
Boy, are we in trouble.
Oh, here's Patty.
Oh, no, this is Kathy, Patty's cousin.
Hello, Miss Morgan.
Hello, dear. This is Mr. Snell.
How do you do?
How do you do?
Kathy, where's Patty?
In the kitchen doing the dishes. We used my coin.
She's doing the what?
Is that wrong?
Not wrong, Mrs. Lane. Tragic.
That's true. She breaks a lot of them.
I don't think you people have any real understanding of this situation. The time that your daughter is forced to spend washing dishes could be time that she might be devoting to, say, discovering a vaccine that could save all humanity from disease. Patty?
Or an invention that could radically change the course of the world.
Patty?
You two have had a great responsibility thrust upon you. The most important thing you can do is keep Patty's mind free so that she can cope with this greatness. She must have absolutely nothing on her mind.
She hasn't.
We're going to do everything we can to cooperate at school.
But that won't help unless Patty receives the same kind of cooperation at home.
We've managed all right for the last 16 years.
May I ask your IQ, Mr. Lane?
135.
Mine's only 150. Do you really think that you and I are equipped to control a brain with an IQ of 185? Who knows the irreparable damage you might have done to her mind in those 16 years? The paintings that won't be painted. The mathematical formulas that were lost while she was doing the dishes.
Mathematical formulas? Her average in mathematics is 70.
I know. Interesting, isn't it?
What organization did you say you were with?
National Educational Testing Survey. NETS.
Yeah, that's right. National Educational Testing Survey. NETS. Are you sure? Oh, see. No, it's nothing special. I was just thinking of writing an editorial on it. Mr. Snell. Mr. Snell, I owe you an apology. I just checked on your organization. Not that I didn't believe. Well, I mean, Patty is...
Please. Parents are always the last to know.
What do you want us to do?
The first thing is to remove any frustrations from Patty's life so that her mind is free of irritations. Is there anything she wants that she doesn't have?
She wants an increase in her allowance.
She'd like her own telephone. She hates doing chores.
Sure, she'd like to spend all her time watching television and the movies.
Typical. On the surface, that seems like a childlike desire. But who knows what gigantic ideas might be formulating in her mind while she's watching the movies or a television show. Newton was a bird watcher. Galileo collected buttons. Give her anything she wants.
We've arranged to have Patty moved into a special class we've just set up.
Well, I know at a moment like this you want to be alone with your daughter. We'll see ourselves out. Good night, Edwina.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Ross, go get Patty.
Me?
Yes, you.
What'll I say to her?
Well, just tell her to... just ask her if she'd please come in here.
Okay. Excuse me, miss. If it isn't too much trouble, your parents would like to know if you could please come into the living room for a minute. If it isn't too much trouble. You would focus. Yes, ma'am.
That's exactly the way to handle it.
She was doing the dishes. It broke my heart. What's the scream?
Patty, sit down right here.
What'd I do now?
Your father just thought you might be more comfortable sitting.
Unless you'd prefer to sit here. What didn't I do now?
Mr. Snell and Miss Morgan just left.
Oh. They told you about the intelligence test today. They were terribly excited. Don't blame me. I couldn't help it. I just got so frustrated that I...
Snell was right. I have been frustrating you. We've been holding you down for years.
You're not angry?
Angry? We're very proud of you.
You got the highest score they have ever had. Oh, I can explain that. The cookie machine was going so fast, I just got mad and let...
And you showed them. Oh, you're a chip off the old block, honey.
Well, I'm glad everything's cuckoo. I better get back and finish the dishes. Oh, no. I'll do them for you.
Oh, we've decided you won't have to do any more dishes.
You mean... ever? Ross and I will be glad to do your share. Yes, ma'am.
And you're going to have your own telephone.
For real?
For real. And if there's any special television shows that you want to see or any movies, you just say the word. As of now, your allowance has been doubled.
Man, it's like Christmas. Miss Morgan and Mr. Snell know all about this? They suggested it. I always thought Miss Morgan was such a square.
You don't have to use words like square anymore, Patty. I mean, I imagine there are superior verbal equivalents that you'd prefer to articulate, now that you don't have to repress your real mental abilities any longer.
Yeah. Well, I gotta buzz Richard. Bye.
It's going to take her a little while to get used to it.
Me too.
Me too. No, sure. Gonna get my own telephone, maybe a television set. He said,
Good morning, Patty.
like hi, Mr. Snell.
Like hi, delicious.
I got a flash from Buckland's modern psychology class.
Yes, we've made some new arrangements for you, and I think you're going to be very pleased with them. You'll have only one class from now on. And, you won't be needing these.
Cuckoo.
Cuckoo. In here. Patty, this is Antonia, Emil, August, and Peter. Patty Lane. Each student is working in the creative field of his own choice. Antonia is a sculptress. Emil is in abstract mathematics. Peter is a poet. And August is working in pre-Aristotelian philosophy.
And you're gonna lock me in with them?
I think you'll find the intellectual climate in this room very stimulating, Patty. And if you need any tools or special equipment of any kind, don't hesitate to speak up.
What is your field?
My field?
Your specialization?
Oh, I don't specialize much. I'm sort of interested in everything.
A generalist. That's remarkable. Assuming, of course, that you're in agreement with Spengler.
Oh, yeah. Completely. He's a blast.
Chess?
What?
Would you care to indulge in a game of chess?
I've been playing all morning.
Oh. August, how about you?
My pleasure.
How do we stand?
32, 37, and 3 draws.
You have white. Go ahead.
Queen's pawn to queen 4.
King's rook's pawn to rook 4.
Very good.
I haven't got a chessboard.
Chessboard?
Cuckoo. Hello, Patty. Oh, hi, Kat. How was school? Cuckoo. They put me in an almond factory. Do you want a flipper? They were playing chess without a chessboard. Did they use queen's pawn to queen 4 opening? And retaliate with king's rook's pawn to rook 4? You're as way out as they are. If you go up to your room, you'll find a surprise there. Cuckoo. Yippee! Alice, guess what? I'm talking to you on my own status symbol. Isn't that the bitter? Can you come right over? Crazy. Bye. Peggy.
Patty? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, honey. What are you doing up?
Watching the late show.
What are you watching?
Beast with 5 bony fingers.
I suppose it has more meaning for you than it does for someone like me. I suppose you view it in nihilistic terms, huh? You know, sometime I'd like to have you explain it to me. I mean, the inner meaning that you get out of a movie like that. Well, guess I'll go on back upstairs. Good night, hon.
Papa?
Yeah?
Do you really believe these electronic brains know what they're doing?
Sure I do. Why?
Well, take me. I mean, that machine says I'm a great genius. But
Honey, you must have more confidence in yourself. Now, that machine said you're a genius. Well, it's right. You are. You're our little genius. Now, you believe in that. Good night, sweetheart.
Good night.
Good morning, sleepy eye.
Hi. What time is it?
10:30.
I'm late for prison.
No, you just stay in bed and relax. I called Miss Morgan. She said you can come in when you feel like it. You have no regular school hours.
Miss Morgan said that? You know, Mom, I was all wrong about you and the father figure. I said you didn't know how to treat kids. Well, you sure do.
Thanks.
Mom, salt and pepper?
Oh, sorry about that. I'll get it.
Thanks. And butter.
Patty, I'd like to see you a minute. Have I got some exciting news for you?
What's up?
He's here.
Who's here?
Mr. Hawks, our president. He's come up from Washington just to meet you.
He has?
He sure has. I can't tell you how excited he is about your test, and he wants the pleasure of seeing you take another one.
I can't do that. I mean, I was up most of the night with 3 ghosts.
Marvelous. I've started the machine for you, so go right ahead and I'll call Mr. Hawks.
But you, Miss.
Sit down.
Hi, chum.
The thing about this girl is the protective patina of average behaviorism. All camouflage, of course. Very insensitive father, bourgeois mother, no idea of the treasure they have. But their repressions have only served to sharpen the most incredible intellect I've ever encountered. A giant, Mr. Hawks. A giant. By activating the key monitor buttons, Patty accidentally triggered off the mechanism that had the machine answer its own questions and then grade itself 100%. In the 30 years our organization has been functioning, this is the first time a thing like this has ever happened.
Have you told her yet?
No. We thought it best for her family to tell her. I'll just see myself out.
Get Patty.
Yeah, man. The ex-genius is coming. I hope this is important. I was watching a show on my new television set. Yeah, it helps me to think. Let's take in a movie tonight, Kath.
I wouldn't plan on it.
Why not?
You're going to be too busy.
Doing what?
I'm glad you asked.
Patty, when you finish those, you can start cleaning your room. The hall closet's a mess, your bathroom needs doing, and there's quite a lot of ironing to do, and bye.
You win some, you lose some.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, hot and cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find
They laugh alike.
they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are
Miles off the highway. I've even reserved the same cottage we honeymooned in.
Girl, I think it's the most romantic thing I've ever heard, Aunt Natalie. Sneaky-wise, it's great.
Sneaky-wise or not, we're turning your father's birthday into a vacation. If he won't take one himself, we're going to take it for him.
Pop's a managing editor. Why doesn't he manage to get himself a vacation?
Because something always comes up. But this time, we're not giving him a chance to say no. We're going to keep this a complete surprise. I'm packing the suitcases and shipping them on ahead. I've arranged for the cabin, the boat.
We forgot the fishing license.
You're right. Can you pick one up tomorrow after school?
Sure. I'll spring for it with my own loot. It'll be my contribution to the birthday bit.
You know, he still talks about the speckled trout he caught on our honeymoon. Come to think of it, that's all he talks about.
Red light!
Hi, family.
Hello, Uncle Martin.
Hi, Kat. See, I'm sorry I'm late. I got held up. It was a South American Revolution I got involved in.
Oh, you look tired, darling.
Well, I am tired.
Why don't you take a vacation? Ow! Nothing.
Let's eat.
Yeah, we're having speckled trout for dinner. Ow!
What's the matter with you?
Nothing. What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you? Come.
Picture of the girl and get a statement from her family. Now hit the human interest angle, whether they suspected what she was going to do, whether they knew the boy, and so on. Now, let's milk it. I'm going to do an editorial on it. You send your copy in as fast as you can. Right.
World caved in yet?
It's caving, JR. Did you see this? 14-year-old girl in New Jersey eloped with a folk singer.
Oh, that's terrible. Folk singer.
Do you realize the increase there's been in teenage marriages in the last 5 years? They're up over 30%.
Well, that's not too bad, considering there's been over 100% increase in folk singers.
Kids today think of marriage as a kind of a game. They take on responsibilities they're not equipped to handle emotionally, mentally, or economically.
Sounds like an editorial.
That's exactly what it is. And I'm not going to blame the kids. I'm blaming their parents.
Well, I'll see if the mayor has any comment on it. I'm having lunch today at City Hall. See you later, Martin.
Right.
Folk singer. Flies in the buttermilk. Shoo, shoo, shoo.
There you are. One fishing license.
Thank you.
That'll be $3.
Do you really think you can keep it a secret from your dad?
Sure. Slide.
You can see we do a booming business here, Mr. Castle. Why, this is our third biggest week for marriages.
It's incredible how young some of them really are. Martin was right. They're just babies. Oh, there's Patty Lane.
Who?
My managing editor's daughter. Excuse me, I must say hello. Patty?
But you know the father figure. If he got wind of this, he'd kill it. He doesn't believe in it.
Do you want me to keep the license for you?
No. I have a place to hide it.
Hey, how about the honeymoon cabin?
It's all set. We'll zip up Saturday, we'll use Hodad's heap, and we'll tell him we're just going for a little spin.
Oh, J.R., just finishing my editorial on teenage marriages.
I'd say it wasn't a moment too soon, Martin.
Now listen to this. It's time that we place the blame squarely where it belongs. Not on the frail, inexperienced shoulders of the newlyweds, but on the broad backs of the mothers and fathers who allow these situations to develop under their very noses in ignorance. And there's more.
That's what I've come to tell you.
Oh, you talked to the mayor. Did you get some information for me?
Some. Your daughter's getting married Saturday.
For a minute, it sounded as though you said my daughter was getting married on Saturday.
I did. I saw her at the Marriage License Bureau.
And you thought... Well, Patty was at the Marriage License Bureau. She was probably there with a friend.
She certainly was, and I heard him advise her to hide the marriage license at the honeymoon lodge until they got there on Saturday. And if you're Hodad, they're using your heap to get there.
It's true. I'll put a stop to it, of course, but...
Oh, in my opinion, that would be a most unfortunate approach.
You have a better suggestion?
Well, I've had some experience in these matters. You're dealing here, Martin, with adolescent emotions at a white-hot pitch. You have no idea how delicate the situation is. I would advise you to handle it very carefully.
You would?
I certainly would. The usual procedure in these unfortunate occurrences is for the blundering parents to rush in and forbid the marriage. The pages of history are strewn with the bodies of star-crossed lovers.
Patty, a star-crossed lover? She's hardly learned to roller skate.
Well, perhaps they don't intend to do a lot of roller skating.
Come on in, J.R. I'm sure there's some logical explanation for all this. I mean, Kathy'll know the answer. There are no secrets between Patty and her. If Patty were going to elope, Kathy would know about it. I'll ask her. Kathy?
What makes you think she's going to tell you the truth?
She doesn't have to. I'll know. See, Kathy's got a built-in lie detector. Whenever she says something that's not true, she hiccups. Kath?
Hello, Uncle Martin. You're home early.
Yeah, I had something to attend to. You know Mr. Castle.
Yes, hello. It's nice to see you again, Mr. Castle.
Kathy, you're looking very well.
Thank you.
Where's your Aunt Natalie?
She went shopping.
And Patty?
Patty? She's at a Red Cross class. Excuse me.
Kathy, is she alone?
Who?
The girl we're talking about, your cousin Patty.
Oh. Yes?
Did Patty say anything to you about any special plans for Saturday?
Saturday?
Yeah.
No.
I'll kill him. When I get my hands on him, whoever he is, I'll kill him. Do you think you could identify him if you saw him again?
Well, it would be a difficult face to forget. He was a peculiar-looking boy, moved around like a perturbed pelican. He was tall and thin and looked a lot like, him.
Him? Well, it couldn't be him. I mean, that's Richard. Nobody would marry Richard.
Why not?
Well, it's just out of the question, that's all. He mowed my lawn last summer. You think my daughter would marry a gardener?
Well, what does he do when he's not gardening?
He eats. He lives in my refrigerator. I've been practically supporting that boy for 2 years, but I'll be hanged if I'm going to make it legal.
Martin, getting excited about it isn't going to help anything.
Well, wouldn't you get excited if he was going to be your son-in-law? Do you know what his income is per week? $10. I wouldn't buy Patty's bubble gum. Now, wait a minute. We're getting carried away, J.R. There's some perfectly innocent explanation for this whole thing. Patty thinks of me as a quaint old man from the Stone Age, but she genuinely loves me. She wouldn't do Richard to me.
There must be an easy way of establishing the truth.
You mean go out and confront them?
What sort of a newspaper man are you? I mean, we spy on them.
Spy on my own daughter?
It's better than babysitting. Let's go.
I'd love to see the Speaker of the House when he makes the scene.
He'll have to scrape him off the moon.
What do they say? That I'm due for a big shock.
You know, we should be halfway there by the time Pop knows he's been had.
Any questions?
If he weren't so stubborn, we wouldn't have to do the sneaky Pete bit.
This'll kill poor Natalie.
Patty, did you get the license?
Check.
Yeah, you should have seen the line. Looked like everybody in town was doing it.
I paid for it with my own money. Isn't that right, Richard?
Let's hide it before your father runs across it.
I've already got it stashed.
My own wife. She's in on it.
I don't like Patty paying for the license. It doesn't augur well for the marriage.
I've arranged with Mr. Landers to mail the key to the cottage and to the boat. Now, tomorrow, you get the suitcases out of the garage without your father seeing you, and I'll start packing.
Snap time.
I'll help her.
You know, I can't wait for Saturday. I wish you were here already.
I'm sorry I had to open up this Pandora's box, Martin, but it's better to know the truth.
You know what hurts most, J.R.? That they could do this to me behind my back. My own wife and my daughter and my niece treating me like I was an outsider. Well, I'm going to have it out with Natalie.
In my opinion, you'd be making a terrible mistake.
Why?
Well, I imagine the reason they didn't come to you in the first place is because they're afraid of you.
Afraid of me? What is nonsense? All Patty had to do was come to me and tell me that she wanted to marry Richard. I'm a reasonable man.
What would you have done?
I'd have killed her.
You could still stop her, Martin. She's a minor. She's got to get your permission.
She's got her mother's permission. I guess they expected me to read about it in the marriage notices. Patty is just a baby, J.R. She's not ready to get married yet. Nobody's ready to get married to Richard.
Well, maybe this boy's got some quality you've overlooked. Perhaps you're being unfair to him.
Unfair? To Richard?
Try to get to know him, Martin. And then you can bore from within.
I got a better idea. I'm going to scare him out of the marriage.
Okay there. I got it split. Bye.
Don't go, Richard. I'd like you to meet Mr. Castle, the publisher of the Chronicle. This is Richard Harrison.
Like, hi.
Quite.
Come on into the living room, Richard, and sit down.
You're inviting me into your living room?
Yes, I thought we could have a little chat. Come on.
Okay. How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Make yourself comfortable. You know, we've never really had a chance to get to know one another, Richard. I suppose that's my fault.
Yeah.
The point is that I think it's high time we did get to know one another. You know, man to man.
This isn't going to be the birds and the bees bit, is it, Mr. Lane?
The birds and the bees bit?
Because my father image and I already ran that.
I don't know much about your family, son. You don't mind if I call you son, do you?
Not if it gives you pleasure.
What does your father do?
He's a brick and mortar type. He does the expressway bit and all that kind of movement.
What did he say his father does?
He's a highway construction engineer.
Oh.
Is your father a wealthy man?
Pop swings pretty good with a lute.
Maybe your father's planning to take you into his business.
That's for me. I'd love being a cement jockey.
Then it's all settled.
Yeah. He won't have me.
What's your present income?
$500.
$500 a what?
A year.
So what it boils down to is that in the course of the next year, your income will be $10 a week.
Oh, no, sir. In the summer, I earn my own money. I cut grass.
I know. Were you under the impression that you and Patty could live on that amount of money?
No, sir. Were you?
Not for one instant. Nor was I under the impression that I was going to support you.
Well, gee, why should you?
Exactly. Why should I? Can you support Patty?
I thought you were supporting her.
Well, you thought wrong. You'll have to support her.
I will?
You know, getting married is a major responsibility at your age.
It sure is.
Well, I want you to think very seriously about it.
You mean about me and Patty?
That's exactly what I mean.
Oh, sure, if that's what you want.
Well, I'm glad we had this little chat.
So am I. Thanks a lot, Mr. Lane. I sure had you figured all wrong. Goodbye, Mr. Palace.
Castle.
Funny, I had the system for memorizing names and... Bye.
Well?
I'd kill him.
You know, you haven't said 2 words all evening. Still worried about South America?
North America.
Well, I'm glad you were able to get home early this afternoon.
So am I.
I wish your work didn't put you under such a terrible strain, darling.
I imagine everybody around here's been under a terrible strain.
We've been worrying about you.
Oh, I'm sure you have.
Well, perhaps one of these days you can get away and take a little vacation. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. Then we could relax and exchange confidences. Tell one another all our secrets.
Secrets?
Well, if there were any to tell, I mean. Of course, I'm old-fashioned, Natalie. I've always felt that the fabric that held the family together was honesty. That husbands and wives shouldn't keep secrets from one another.
Oh, I agree, but sometimes the only way to manage things is to do a little secret plotting. Well, I'm going up to bed, dear. Coming?
Now I'm going to sit here and drink my milk.
Good night, dear.
Yeah. Over my dead body. Come on in, JR.
I got here as fast as I could.
Come on out in the kitchen. I'll give you a cup of coffee. I didn't sleep a wink all night.
What happened?
Natalie came right out and admitted the whole thing.
No.
I couldn't believe it. She said that sometimes the only way to get things done is to do a little secret plotting. It's frightening that you can live with one of them for nearly 20 years and not really know them.
You must prevent this marriage at all costs.
You were the one who was telling me that there might be something to that boy.
That's right, there is, and I've seen it. You must prevent this marriage at all costs.
What about all the bodies of lovers that are strewn through the pages of history?
That might not be a bad solution. There isn't a jury in the world would convict you.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate your coming over here and giving me your moral support, JR.
Anything I can do, old boy?
That's probably the minister.
How do you do? I'm Ted Landis.
Yes?
I brought the keys to the cabin.
The honeymoon cabin?
Yes. I was going to mail them, but Mrs. Lane told me how top secret it was, so I decided to bring them myself.
You've made a brilliant secret agent.
Thank you. I told Mrs. Lane how lucky she was. It was the last cabin on the lake. Oh, and here's the key to the boat. I think you'll find everything satisfactory up there. Did they get the license?
Oh, yes, they got the license, all right.
Good. Good. We wouldn't want any trouble on that. They're very strict up there. Oh, it's a beautiful place. Quiet and secluded.
Are you fond of secluded, quiet places, Mr. Landers?
Me? Oh, my, yes.
Well, that's fortunate. You may be spending the next 7 years in one.
The kids you rented that cabin to are underage.
Kids? Underage? Why, Mrs. Lane didn't say anything about...
I'm telling you.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. The honeymoon cabin is no longer available.
Don't forget the key to the boat.
Good morning.
That takes care of their honeymoon plans.
Well done, Martin.
And while I'm at it, I've got another little spike to put in Cupid's quiver. I'm going to make sure that Hodad's heat is unavailable. Honeymoon cabin at the lake, nice secluded spot. I know Patty is a rebellious child, but Richard is ridiculous. I beg your pardon? Oh, is this a Sunset Garage? Now, this is Mr. Lane. Say, Eddie wanted to do some work on my transmission. I told him I was going to need the car. Well, I've changed my mind, so tell him he can pick it up anytime he wants. No, he can have it over the whole weekend. We're not going anywhere. Thank you. They can't go anywhere without a heap. Car.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant, Martin.
These are the heaviest empty suitcases I've ever seen. Why don't we just take them in through the front door?
Because the parent hasn't gone to work yet. Mama doesn't want him to see him.
Now for the last step.
What's that?
I'm going to disable the groom.
You think a 3-day vacation will be long enough for your father?
What do you mean?
Have you talked to him lately? He's driving himself into Flipsville.
What'd he say?
Just what do you think you're doing?
Fixing the window.
Borrowing water.
Kathy said you wanted to see me. Oh, hello, J.R.
Natalie?
Is anything wrong?
I just wanted you to know that your little scheme was finished. Over, kaput.
What little scheme?
Oh, it's too late to play innocent, Natalie. I'm talking about Saturday. Remember the license, the honeymoon cabin at the lake? Hodad's Heap?
You found her.
You bet I did.
Who's the stool pigeon?
I didn't sing. Kathy.
No, I'm afraid I'm the stool pigeon, Natalie.
You found out and told Martin?
I had no alternative.
And they say women can't keep a secret. Oh, well, we tried. I'm sorry the surprise is gone, but it really doesn't matter. We can still go ahead with our plans.
Well, that's where you're wrong. I've canceled the honeymoon cabin and the boat and sent the Heap in for repairs.
Martin, that was the last cabin.
I know.
And he handled it beautifully.
How could you? I thought you'd love it.
Did you really? Well, you thought wrong. When my only daughter gets married, I'm not going to have her sneaking off with someone behind my back.
Would you mind repeating that?
Patty is not getting married this Saturday or any other Saturday. At least not for a few years. So your little scheme didn't work.
Oh, you found out that Patty was getting married.
I sure did.
Oh, well, we tried.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't.
It's always a fatal mistake to underestimate one's adversary.
Oh, I can see that now, Martin. I should have let you in on Patty's marriage from the beginning.
Would have been nice.
I thought I covered all my tracks. How did you get onto it?
I saw them buying the license.
Oh, that explains it. Imagine. Little slip like that.
And now one last thing. Let's destroy that license.
Mom, how are you going to let him...
He's
break
done
up?
everything else. Give him the license.
I'm sorry, Richard.
Well done, Martin.
Pop, I wish you
You
would...
sit down, young lady. You and I'll have a long private talk later. Now, I'm going to be charitable. I don't mind admitting that this has hurt me very, very deeply. But I'm sure that all of you are feeling pretty ashamed of yourselves right now, so I'm not going to rub it in. This will end the incident, and I hope it's a lesson you'll never forget. This is a fishing license. It's made out to me.
I paid for it with my own money. Right, Richard?
What for?
For you to catch your speckled trout with, the way you did on our honeymoon.
You mean that this is the license that Patty and Richard...
We wanted you to have a vacation at Lake George for your birthday. The cottage is the same one you and I had for our honeymoon.
Well, I think I'll be pushing along now. By the way, Martin, why don't you take the weekend off? Do you good. Happy birthday.
Gee, it was nice of Mr. Landers to send these trout down to us. He felt terrible when I explained what happened.
I wish somebody had explained it to me.
Oh, well, these misunderstandings do occur, you know.
Well, at least you have your fish. And barbecues are fun. Boy, they're beauts, Dad.
I think those trout are about done, Martin.
You think so?
Oh, yes. I'll give you a hand. Speed things up a little.
I have to finish my homework for art class tomorrow. I'm doing a wedding scene.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Everything is done but the wedding gown. I have to have the wedding gown done by tomorrow, or it'll be too late.
I can't wait to see it.
Martin!
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two.
Who's calling? The overseas operator? Oh, she's right here. Oh, hold on, operator. Don't go away. I'll get her. Okay. Kathy! It's for you! Thank you, Betty. It's your father in Paris. Hello? This is Kathy Lane. Hello, Father. I'm wonderful. How are you? I miss you, too. Aunt Natalie and Uncle Martin are treating me wonderfully. They're fattening me up. You, too. Here's Patty. Hi, Uncle Kenneth. You should see Kathy. I'm making a real swinger out of her. Here's Mom. Love ya. It's Uncle Kenneth in Paris.
Hello, Kenneth. Oh, everything is fine here. Kathy looks wonderful. I hope you can come and visit us soon. Here's Ross. Goodbye.
Hi, Uncle Kenneth. Did you hear the funny story about the
Write
man
it to him, son.
I'll write it to you. Say hello to the Eiffel Tower for me. Bye. I was talking to France. Oh, boy.
Hello, Kat. This is a pleasant surprise. How's my favorite foreign correspondent? I'm fine. Martin, how's Kathy? She's wonderful. She and Patty are confusing the whole neighborhood. Reminds me of our youth. The twins bit all over again. Oh, by the way, Aunt Pauline just paid me a visit. You poor devil. She's on her way to see you. What? I just put her on a jet for New York this morning. She's stopping off at your house tonight for dinner. I thought you'd like to know. Thanks a lot. Aunt Pauline is going to have dinner here tonight. You may not find the old girl in a very good mood. We had our annual argument just before she left. Let me talk to Kathy again. Goodbye, Ken. And here's Kathy.
Daddy?
I just wanted to say goodbye, Kit Kat.
I loved your story from Yugoslavia.
Hurry up and finish school and get back over here. I miss you like the devil.
I miss you, Ted, more than you miss me.
Goodbye, Kit Kat. I love you.
I love you, too. Bye, Daddy.
I wonder what time Aunt Pauline's arriving.
Father has talked a great deal about Aunt Pauline, but I haven't seen her since I was a little girl.
Now, I admit that Aunt Pauline is a little eccentric, but we have to remember that she's all alone in the world. We're the only family she has.
Yeah, and she's worth $1 million.
That's neither here nor there.
I wish it was here.
I'm not supposed to know, but Aunt Pauline willed her money to a foundation for sailors' widows. So you're going to be nice to her for her own sake.
Will you send me away to camp, please?
No, I will not.
Kathy adores a minuet, a ballet room, a quick Suzette.
lugging this stuff up to the basement year after year?
It makes Aunt Pauline happy to see the presents she gave us.
Then why don't we put them back in the basement when she goes? Do you want to live with it? I live with you. Certainly is ugly, isn't it?
Don't let Aunt Pauline hear you say that. She sculpted it herself.
Out of old peanut butter, I think. I know. You're not allowed to criticize her. Sometimes she gets me so mad. I just hope I don't lose my temper.
You better not, young lady.
Father and I used to have a code. If either of us started to lose his temper, we'd say it's tea time. T is for temper. Cuckoo. It's quite effective. It's about the same as counting to 10. Got it. It's tea time. It's tea time. She's here.
Daddy, here, put this behind the couch. Crazy.
Aunt Pauline, welcome. Ah, my cher, you look lovely. You've gained weight. Where are the petite ones? There they are, the little loves. Ah, Patty.
Aunt Pauline?
Ross. My, you've grown.
Yeah, thanks.
And this must be little Kathy. Très jolie.
Hello, Aunt Pauline.
You know, the resemblance is really remarkable. Of course, even as a child, Patty was a little prettier. Other than that, one could hardly tell them apart. Oh, charming. One forgets what a teeny little house it really is. Oh. Charming. Oh, my luggage. Just set it right there, Arthur.
Kenna didn't say anything.
Oh, it's going to be so nice to be in a real home again. Hotels are so outrageously cher, and that means expensive.
Yes, I know. J'ai étudié à la Sorbonne, quand mon père travaillait au journal in Paris.
I loathe show-offs. I'm afraid with all that luggage, I'll have to have the large bedroom. I hate to put you and Martin out, dear.
Oh, don't worry about it. We'll move into the girls' bedroom.
And we can move to a hotel.
You'll move into Ross's room.
And I'll go to camp.
You'll sleep on the sofa.
That's all. Thank you, Arthur. Shoo. This is Ding Ding. Isn't she, dear?
She's lovely.
Isn't she sweet? I got her in Antibes. That's north of Nice.
Isn't it south of Nice?
You dear child. You really are quite a lot like your father.
I'm afraid for you to put her down. I'm a little bit worried about Tiger.
Tiger. Oh, get that beast out of here.
He lives here. Don't tell him to get out of here. Tea time.
Put Tiger on the patio. We'll figure out something.
Come on, Tiger. Come on. Be a good boy. Tiger.
Hello, Via Shoo-Shoo. Don't be afraid, darling. Your mommy will take care of you. Now, children, go quickly, quickly. Get your presents. They're all marked. They'll have your names on them. Go along. Oh, come, my love. Yes. Now, here's a good place, little Ding Ding. There we are. Yes. Of course, it's not what you're accustomed to, darling, but you'll be all right. Oh, my lovely statue. Oh, I'm so glad you appreciate the beautiful presents I brought you. Well, come along, children. Come on, open your presents. This time I've outdone myself. I brought a glockenspiel for Martha. This is my musical year. Oh, you can't imagine how heartwarming it's going to be to think of you all sitting around the fireplace here playing when I'm far away. Oh, I'm afraid I didn't bring anything for you, Kathy.
Oh, I don't mind. Kathy plays a wild piano.
Well, I'm surprised you ever had the time to learn, the way your father drags you around the world.
Well, that wasn't Father's fault. When you are a foreign correspondent, you must go where they send you.
Why don't I get on with dinner? I have a wonderful roast in the oven.
Just take it out. You're not to lift a finger. I'm going to do the cooking.
Oh, that's very sweet of you, Aunt Pauline, but
No, don't thank me. Only keep the maid out of my way.
We don't have one.
Oh, well, de nada. The kitchen is out of bounds for you, Natalie. Now, while I start cooking, why don't you go and take your things out of my room? And take these along with you. Now, come on, children, come on. Patty, I want you to go to the grocery store for me. I'll make you a list. And Ross, come on, I need something from the drugstore. And you too, Kathy, come along. You can help us.
It's tea time. It's tea time.
Hi, darling, I'm home. Did Aunt Pauline arrive?
Like a tank battalion.
Going out?
Don't tempt me.
Oh. Where is she?
In the kitchen, cooking dinner. My kitchen is out of bounds to me.
Aunt Pauline is cooking dinner?
She insisted.
Do you know, that's rather sweet, really. She's starved for a home of her own, so she's trying to make this her home.
She's doing a bang-up job. Our bedroom is out of bounds, too.
What?
She's in, we're out.
You mean she's moved in here?
That's right.
Oh, now, wait a minute. If she thinks she can come in here...
Martin, you said it yourself. Aunt Pauline doesn't have a home of her own. We're all the family she has. We can't be mean to her.
Ah, Martin.
Hello, Aunt Pauline. I'm sorry I wasn't here to meet you.
Oh, well, I assumed you were detained on urgent business.
Well, yes, as a matter of fact,
You're thin. Natalie isn't feeding you properly.
Oh, of course she...
Well, I'll take care of that. I've always been a wonderful cook. But on this last trip to France, I realized that I knew nothing. Rien. Wait until you taste this dinner.
I'm ready. I'm starved. Isn't there any way that you can hurry her up?
She won't let me in the kitchen.
Maybe she doesn't want you to steal any of her favorite recipes.
Do you remember those crepe Suzette she made last year? They were marvelous.
Here we are. You'll see. The good things in life are always worth waiting for.
I'm so hungry I could eat a horse.
That won't be necessary, young man.
Looks delicious. What is it?
Beefsteak.
I love beefsteak.
Oh, well, these are especially good. You really will love these. Now, go ahead, everybody. Eat your heart's content because there's plenty more in the kitchen. Enough for seconds and even thirds if you want them.
What did you say this was?
Beet steak.
Beef steak.
Yes. Isn't it delicious? And for dessert, I'm making a walnut souffle. Come along, come along. Eat it, it's delicious. Waste not, want not.
Hurry up, Natalie. I'm beginning to fade away.
Yes, so am I.
Hi. Welcome to the club.
What are you doing up in the middle of the night?
Same as you, trying to stay alive.
Hello, Tiger. Good boy. Has he been fed?
Yes, don't tell Aunt Pauline, but we gave him some non-vegetarian dog food. This is ridiculous. I'm starving to death in my own home.
Darling, what would you like?
Food. Glorious food.
I think I'll start with lamb chops and work up.
I want a hamburger. I'd like some sausages. That's what I want. Lamb chops, hamburger, and sausages.
Oh, it's you. I thought perhaps it was a burglar and I hurried right down.
Aunt Pauline.
Uh-huh. I caught you. I knew you'd want some more of my beefsteak. Remember, I told you there was enough for seconds and even thirds? Come along, everybody. We'll sit down and have a delicious midnight feast.
And some tea.
Anybody home? What's going on here? An Eskimo convention? It's freezing in here.
No use closing the windows. Aunt Pauline will just open them again.
She learned it from a doctor in Newfoundland. They never catch colds up there.
Well, then let her go to Newfoundland. This is ridiculous.
She's your aunt, not mine.
Why didn't that blow away?
Dear me, it's getting stuffy in here. Oh, Martin, you're home.
Am I? I'm not sure anymore. You know, I think it's time that we have...
Tea time. Tea time.
I think it's a lovely idea.
You certainly are a tea-drinking family.
It keeps us from freezing to death. Now, about that doctor of yours in Newfoundland.
Oh, wasn't it lucky I ran into him? You know, when you're virtually alone in the world and have to travel every place by yourself, it's so important to meet nice companions. What were you going to say about the doctor, Martin?
Oh, just that his cold theory sounds interesting.
Oh, I knew you'd think so. Ah, there, that's better. Wakes up the lung sacs. I have the most wonderful idea for tonight after dinner. We are going to have a musical.
I'm sorry, Aunt Paulina. I have this date with Richard, and I have some work to do.
And I have some mending to do.
I have this editorial to write.
And I have to go to camp.
Thank you, Kathy. I told you to leave the dishes for me later.
Oh, there weren't very many, Aunt Natalie.
I'm going out shopping. What would you like for dinner? Carrot steak or spinach pie?
I think I'd like...
I know. Neither would I. It won't last forever. I know she's difficult, but she's our only aunt, and we can't turn her out, can we? Or can we?
Notice that most of Uncle Martin's conversation the past few days has consisted of tea time.
She's quite a woman. I'm really very fond of her.
Father has talked to me about her for so long, and yet there is no real way to prepare one for Aunt Pauline.
You miss your father, don't you?
Very much. In a way, having Aunt Pauline here makes me feel that Father is closer. I mean, she is part of his family, isn't she? I think I'd like spinach pie for dinner.
You know something? I not only love you, I like you.
I'm glad. There you are, Tiger. There you are.
That's very unsanitary, Kathy. Dogs can give you hydrophobia.
Oh, not Tiger. He's a sweet dog. He would never hurt anyone.
You're an argumentative child, aren't you?
I don't mean to be, Aunt Pauline.
I'm sure you don't. It's just the way you've been brought up. Or should I say the way you haven't been brought up?
I didn't mean to be rude.
The one thing I will not tolerate is insolence. But knowing your father, I'm not surprised. I think it's disgraceful the way you've been reared, dragged around the world like some nomad without any home or roots.
That wasn't Father's fault. When Mother died, he wanted me with him, and I wanted to be with him.
Well, that's no way for a young girl to live, hobnobbing with those ruffian newspaper men.
They're not ruffians. They're very nice.
I think I know a little more about it than you do.
Father and I have always been very close. It was terribly difficult for him to decide to send me here to live while he's traveling so much.
Well, he had no alternative. It's very inconvenient for an attractive widower to have a teenage daughter around.
That's a horrible thing to say.
Well, I'm a woman of the world, and your father always was a mouton noir, a black sheep.
Because he won't kowtow to you? My father is the finest man I've ever known. Old moneybags.
Old moneybags?
That's what he calls you. He says you have a money bag for a heart and tinsel for a brain. I'm sorry. I should never have said that.
So, that's the way my family talks about me behind my back. The ingratitude. Well, I shan't impose on any of you any longer.
Oh, no, Aunt Pauline. I'm terribly sorry.
You can tell Martin to send my things to the Hotel Mallory.
But...
Kath, dinner's ready.
not very hungry, Uncle Martin.
I don't blame yourself for what happened, Kathy. She had no right to attack your father.
And I had no right to be rude to her. I simply lost my temper. I was horrible, Uncle Martin.
Wish I'd been here.
Where will she go?
Mexico City, I suppose. Now, don't worry about it, Kathy. She's pretty tough. She'll be back next year.
No, she won't. She's terribly proud. She meant what she said.
We'll talk about it later. Come on, have something to eat. You'll feel better. Aunt Natalie fixed some stuffed veal chops. Real veal.
Would you excuse me? I don't care for any dinner.
There you are, Ding Ding. There's your dinner now. Come in. Oh. They sent you to beg me to come back. Well, you're wasting your time.
I came to apologize.
You only said what everybody's been thinking about me for a long time. Only they wouldn't say it because they wanted my money. But I have no intention of being the family joke. Please go.
You're wrong, Aunt Pauline. I don't blame you for being angry. What I said was thoughtless and rude and unforgivable. But please don't punish them because of me. They need you.
You mean they need my money?
They don't care about your money. They've known about the Foundation for Sailors' Widows for years and years. It's you they need. I believe the reason you act the way you do is because you're lonely and you want attention. Then, when people pay attention to you, you get angry because you think it's your money they're interested in. You're not the easiest aunt in the world, but you're all we have. We love you, and we need you, and you need us. Won't you forgive me? I'm sorry. Goodbye, Aunt Pauline. Things sure are quiet around here without Aunt Pauline.
Patty, you want to warm up your zither? Natalie?
That's terrible. What's the matter with all of you? Where's the rhythm? You have no sense of rhythm. No, that's terrible. Oh, come on now. It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Kathy, child, what's the matter with you? Don't you know the difference between a B and a G flat?
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins.
That's what I say. What's the difference? Capri is the lower part of the island. Anna Capri is above it. A little funicular takes you to the top. You know, cousin, it isn't fair. I strained my brain studying about all these crazy places in books, and you've been to all of them. It's a cinch for you. You know why you get better grades than I do? Why? Because you're smarter than I am. No, I'm not. What you said is true, Patty. Father and I have traveled almost everywhere. We spent a week in Capri when he did a feature story on the Grotto Azzurra. This week he's in Greece. Next week he goes to Helsinki to cover the opening of Parliament. Boy, I wish my father were a foreign correspondent. He does lead an exciting life. Do me a favor. When you finish school and go back to Europe to join your father, take me with you. I'm tired of school. I want to get into real life. Expecting an Indian raid? Are you in some kind of trouble, Ross? Boy, am I. You Welsh on your gambling debts and the syndicates after you. Don't open the door. How are we going to find out who it is if we don't open the door? I know who it is. It's a girl. Well, what does she want? Don't ask. Hello.
Hello.
Is Ross at home?
I think so.
I'm Nicky Lee Blake.
How do you do? I'm Ross's mother.
I knew you must be. You have the same warm eyes.
Ross?
What? I'm gonna hide.
Have you seen Ross?
Yeah, not in the last few seconds, Aunt Natalie.
He must have gone out again.
He's very shy. I think it's just dark. Ross, shy? You're new around here, aren't you? Yes. We moved up from Virginia last month. I'm Nicky Lee Blake. Why, you must be Ross's beautiful sister, Patty. Well, Ross is finally acquiring some taste. And you must be his remarkable cousin, Kathy. He speaks of you all the time. Does he? The reason I came by is that we're having a novelty leap year dance Friday, and the girls are asking the boys. I want to go with Ross.
This isn't leap year.
I know. That's what makes it a novelty. Why didn't I think of that? You're not from the South. The boys are to have corsages for the girls, but I'll send my corsage to Ross so he won't have any expense. My father and I will pick him up here Friday night at 7 o'clock. Thank you so much, Mrs. Lane. Goodbye, Patty.
Bye.
Goodbye, Kathy.
Goodbye, Nicky.
Now I know why the South almost won the war.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day. Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even and talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Ross, what are you doing behind the piano?
Eavesdropping. Mom, you don't know what I've been going through. She follows me everywhere, and she keeps bringing me all kinds of presents. I'm the laughingstock of PS8.
Kid.
Come on, Kath, I'll play you a game of darts.
All right. Hello? Yes, this is Mrs. Lane. Oh, hello, Mrs. Blake. Yes, Nicky Lee just left. The dance Friday night? Well, I'm afraid Ross doesn't... A charity dance? A charity dance for orphan children. The school is sponsoring it? Well, of course, Ross would be delighted to go. Well, that'll be fine. Friday night at 7. Thank you for calling. Goodbye.
Mom, what have you done to me?
I had to accept, darling.
Why would you want to do that to me? I'm your only son.
It's for a very worthy cause.
I won't go.
Oh, you're being silly about this. Of course you'll go.
Watch this one. Patty, can I talk to you for a minute? You're in trouble. You robbed the bank, the police are hot on your trail, and you want me to hide you out. He's in here, officer! I want you to talk to Mom and get me out of the dance Friday. You mean that's really bugging you? You're afraid. Afraid of a little girl. Boy, I've waited a long time for this. You mean you aren't going to help me? Help you? Do you remember the summer you sold mimeographed copies of my diary? And the time you entertained my boyfriends by showing them baby pictures of me on a bearskin rug? And you're coming to me for help? Ha, ha, ha. Okay, never mind. Patty, Ross really seemed disturbed. Come on, stop worrying. It's only a kid dance. Let's finish our game. Perhaps we should have given him some help. Whose side are you on? It's the battle of the sexes. He'll learn all the tricks soon enough. He's a natural-born monster. Come in. Oh, it's you. What are you doing? Running away. Do you want to come with me? I can't. I promised to go to a movie with Craig Saturday. Are you running away because of the dance? You bet I am. I'll send for my ham set. Don't let Patty touch it. Ross? Why are you so afraid of girls? How do I know? I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm just a scared kid. Afraid of me? I'm a girl. You're only a cousin. You don't have designs on me. I'm sure Nicky has no designs on you. She seems very nice. All you have to do is take her to the dance and bring her home, and that's the end of it. No, it isn't. That's only the beginning. First, there's another dance, and they expect you to take him to that. Then you have to take him out to dinner and to the movies. Before you know it, you're engaged, and you have to wear clean shirts. Then you get married, and you have to take your old bride with you on your honeymoon and get a job. And for the rest of your life, it's bills, bills, bills. Kathy, I'm not ready to get married. No one said anything about marriage. It's only a dance. You don't know Nicky Lee Blake. She's murdered. Why don't you tell your mother how you feel? She sold me down the river. All you women stick together. That's how you get us. Goodbye, Kathy. All right. Dad, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yes, certainly, son. Okay.
I'm having girl trouble.
Oh, I see. Well, tell me about it.
To tell you the truth, I can't see why everybody makes such a big fuss about girls. They're nothing. I mean, they don't do anything. They're terrible at games. They're either crying or giggling all the time, and they play with dolls. You're not even allowed to hit them.
That's true.
Why would anyone want to give up baseball for that?
Well, as you get older, Ross, you'll develop more mature interests. Girls will be among them.
Not me. I'm never going to get married. You have to support your wife for the rest of your life, and what does she do for you?
Oh, she'll cook, clean, be a companion, nurse you when you're sick, wash the dishes, do the laundry, bring up your children.
Who wants to marry an overpaid maid?
You think your mother is an overpaid maid?
Well, of course not. I mean, she isn't a woman. She's Mom. They don't make them like her anymore.
I agree. But you know, if you're very lucky, son, maybe one day you'll meet someone a little like her.
Promise me you won't get your feelings hurt if I tell you something?
Of course not. Shoot.
I wish I'd found her first. Papa. It's the Rock Hudson of Brooklyn Heights. Dance with me, Rock. I'm gonna swoon. You think you're so funny? Well, I hate you. What'd I say? Hey.
Ross is going through a very trying period right now, Patty.
'Cause he's going to a dance?
Because he's going to the dance. This is the first time he's ever had a real date with a girl. That's an important step in his life.
So he has butterflies. He'll get over it.
You could make it a lot easier for him.
Me? When I first started dating, he used to tell my dates insanity ran in the family. He told one boy I was a kissing maniac. I tried live frogs in my pocket. Once.
Patty, the important time to forget a person's past mistakes is when he's in trouble and needs you.
Well, he's not going to get me. Can I borrow a book, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Patty, do you remember your first date?
Do I? Herman Brinkerhoff. Boy, I had a crush on him. He invited me to his 12th birthday party. After he blew out the candles, he got me in the closet and tried to kiss me. The braces on our teeth got locked. I wanted to die.
I remember you came home and begged me to move us to another city.
I didn't want to have to face Herman Brinkerhoff again. He was in every one of my classes. You know, Papa, I'd forgotten about that. I was sure a silly kid. I must have cried for a week.
What would you do if that happened today?
I'd laugh so hard at... Oh, I fell for the psychology bit, didn't I?
Patty, this is a difficult time for your brother. He's discovering a lot of strange new emotions that he never knew he had. That can be very confusing and very painful.
I still remember the panic I was in the night of Herman Brinkerhoff's party. I didn't want to leave the house. It was like somebody was shoving me over Niagara Falls in a barrel.
Your brother is upstairs going through that same thing right now, Patty.
What do you want me to do?
Will you lend him your barrel?
He doesn't deserve you. Neither do I. Well, if he has to go over the falls, I guess we might as well see that he has a comfortable ride.
Right. Patty, thanks.
Who is it? Me. Go away. I want to talk to you. Leave me alone. I'm sick. Please open the door, Ross. What's the matter? I keep having these dizzy spells. If I could stay in bed for a week, I'd be fine. You're scared about Friday night, aren't you? Of course not. What's Friday night? There's nothing to be scared of, Ross. I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody has to go out on a first date sometime. Why? I don't know. It's just part of the birds and the bees bit. Why can't everyone just leave me alone? It's fun once you get used to it. Nikki seems like a very nice girl. They'll have to drag me all the way to the dance. I was scared stiff on my first date. I didn't have anybody to help me. You've got me. What good are you? Girl, if you're going into enemy territory, you should have a guide. Do you mean it? What do you think big sisters are for? Well, to tell you the truth, I am kind of scared. I mean, Nikki thinks I'm kind of a man of the world. And actually, I haven't had much experience with girls. I won't know what to do with her. It's simple. You'll dance, and you'll talk. Can you dance? No. Can you talk? No. That's hopeless. What do you mean, hopeless? Before you can count 1, 2, 3, you'll be acting like Cary Grant. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Good, you've got it. You're a natural-born dancer. But I only know that one step. Am I going to stand there all night and do that step? You won't be dancing all night. You eat and talk. I know how to eat, but what'll I talk about to old Nikki Lee Blake? The first thing you have to do is stop thinking of her as old Nikki Lee Blake. She's a very cute little girl, and she likes you. Okay, let's practice conversation, okay? Kathy, you go out and be Nikki. All right. Here we are at the dance, and here's pretty little Nikki. Hello, Ross. Hi, Kathy. I'm Nikki Lee. Oh, hi. Oh, that'll sweep her off her feet. Can you put a little more enthusiasm into it? Hi. This certainly is a nice party, isn't it? Yeah. I love to dance, don't you? Yeah. Have you lived here all your life? Yeah. Did I do something wrong? Well, you're laying there like a lump of wet concrete. Haven't you got anything to talk about? It's no use. I'm not a ladies' man. Now, let's try it again. The big secret in being popular is to make your date feel you're interested. Okay? Now, ask questions. Go ahead. Say, what do you think of the Mets this year? I thought you'd try a more general question. What kind of ice cream do you like? Maybe we could get a doctor's certificate saying you're sick. Okay, come on, we'll try it again.
It's almost 7 o'clock. They'll be here any minute.
Ross must be up in his room. We'd better go get him. Ross! Come on! It's time to go!
Ross!
Ross! The crazy mixed-up kids run away. Come on, out! Come on! Let me go! Let me go! Get him!
Ross, what were you doing under there?
I lost one of my marbles. What an opening.
Look at what you've done to your nice new suit.
Mom, feel my forehead. I have a high fever.
He does feel a little warm.
That's war nerves. Son, pull yourself together. Nikki's going to be here any minute.
I can't go. You're not going to chicken out now after all the work we've put in on you. I just can't do it. I tried. Honestly, I tried.
Son.
Please, Dad, don't make me do it. I don't need girls. When I grow up, I'm going to be a real estate salesman.
You know, it wouldn't be so bad for you if you just faced the music.
They're here.
Let's go. Come on. Let's go see Nikki. Come on. You don't understand. I have this terrible headache. baby. It's only a party. I'll give you all the money in my bank if you let me go. That's over $50. Will you cut it out? You act like you're going to your execution. I forgot how to bow. Please, let me go upstairs and practice. No.
Well, good evening, Nicky.
Good evening, Mr. Lane. Good evening, Mrs. Lane.
Good evening, Nicky.
Daddy's in the car. Is Ross ready? I can't go. I'm sick. What's the matter? I think it's pneumonia. Oh, I'm so sorry. Have you seen a doctor? You don't seem to have any fever. That's the trickiest kind. Hey, that's a pretty dress. I'm sorry I have to waste it. That's the bravest thing I've ever heard of. Here you are, dying of pneumonia, and you're worried about me. Well, that's the way I am. I used to get colds when I was younger. I had one after another. They stopped when I had my tonsils out. I had my tonsils out, too. They gave me ether. Really? I had ether, too. I was a terrible coward about it. You must have been very brave. I guess so. It's different with a man. I'll bet I ate 10 quarts of ice cream after I woke up. Did you really? I like ice cream, too. What's your favorite kind? Strawberry. You got my corsage. Yeah. Thanks. Gee, I'm awfully sorry about the dance, Nicky. To tell you the truth, I'm a terrible dancer. I'm probably the worst dancer in Virginia. Anyway, I like just talking to you. You're the most fascinating boy I've ever known. Me? Fascinating? Oh, yes. Well, I feel better now. I guess Nicky and I will be going to the dance.
Well, that's fine, John.
Have a good time now, son.
Thanks. You know how these old dances are. Have Ross show you some of the new steps he knows. What new steps? Oh, just some of the very newest dances I picked up. I'll teach you if you're interested. I'd love to. Well, shall we go, Nick? We'll probably be late. Don't wait up. Good night, everyone. Did you see him? He was debonair. He's a natural-born lady killer.
What are you crying about?
Isn't it silly? I feel as though I've lost him.
That dance can't still be going on. They said he'd be home by 10 o'clock. Something must have happened to him.
Martin, it's 5 minutes to 10.
Oh. Well, then my watch is fast.
I wasn't too nervous.
He's here! He's here!
Martin, let's not all descend on him like a bunch of mother hens.
What are you talking about? I was just going to bed. Night, girls.
Night, Papa. Good night, Uncle Martin. Thank you for a lovely evening, Ross. It was nothing. You made it perfect. You're the best dancer I've ever seen. You make my sister Patty look like nothing. Do you want to go to a movie Saturday? There's a new Western. I love Westerns. We'll go Dutch. Mother would like you to come to dinner one night next week. Great. And you come over here for dinner. Do you believe it? Well, Father's waiting. Good night, Ross. Good night, Nicky. Hi, Kat. Hi, Sis. How was the party? Okay. You know how dancers are. You've been to one, you've been to them all. How'd you get along with Nicky? She's okay, I guess. I see. Well, I'm gonna hit the sack. Good night, Kathy. Good night, Ross. He didn't mean any of that, Patty. Let's face it, he's selfish and ungrateful. When I think of all the trouble we went to so that he...
Oh, I forgot.
What?
Thanks for the greatest evening I've had in my whole life.
Good night, Ross. Men, what are you going to do with them? Let's go to bed.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two.
You've lived in Europe too long, cousin. Time you got acquainted with some of our swinging American customs.
What does one do at a slumber party?
Everything but slumber.
Oh, boy. Mom, tell him.
Ross, these are for the slumber party.
Can I join the party? No. If you step 1 foot out of your room tonight, I'll clobber you. Who wants to watch a bunch of crazy girls in pajamas anyway? You've seen one, you've seen them all. Mom, couldn't you put them up for adoption? Gee, they look good. Maybe I could have the gang over for a cookout Saturday.
Well, I don't know why not.
Because my girls' club is meeting here Saturday.
Oh.
Maybe the Saturday after that?
Oh, I'm afraid my civics club is meeting here, but we'll find a day for your cookout.
Sure. Will you please get out of my way?
Who are we expecting, the 6th Army?
The 8th.
Do you want to play a game of chess, Dad?
You don't play chess.
You could teach me. I'm a quick learner.
No, not tonight, son.
Then will you watch television with me?
Yeah, I've got some reading to do.
Sure. Well, I guess I'll go to bed. Have a nice party. Gee, I wish there was someone in the family younger than me so I could pick on them. Oh, leave me alone. They're here. Mom.
We're going.
Wish I knew how customs like this got started. Make it a lot easier to help stamp them out. I've heard of camping out, but this is ridiculous.
Oh, come on, older generation.
Well, we made it. Is there anything to eat? Stow your gear and we'll go up and change. Get out of here, you Benedict Arnold. What'd you do that for? I was walking in my sleep. Then start running in your sleep, Buster, all the way up to your room. If you come down here once more tonight, I will personally kill you. Boy, when I grow 6 more inches, am I gonna get you?
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. Suzette.
nest out of our hair.
I'm in my night clothes.
Put the chain latch on the door. The lawn man upstairs says no boys allowed.
Hiya, Kathy.
I'm sorry, Richard. I can't let you in.
Yeah, I know, but I'm already in. Where's the goon squad?
The what?
The Phillies, up at Dreamsville, the girls.
Oh, they'll be here in a second. They had to get some things out of their hair.
As long as it's not us.
Greetings, monsters. It's the wolf pack.
So toss us our little Red Riding Hood, wench.
Down, Fang.
You can't turn us out like this.
It hurts us worse than it hurts you.
Good night. Don't think it hasn't been fun.
Don't be hasty, girl. The night's still young.
Yeah, so are we.
And that's what the lawn man upstairs says, and that's why you have to leave. Bye.
Whoever thought of boys must have made $1 million.
Then somebody came along and thought of girls. Think of the money there must have been in that. I'm famished. Boys give me an appetite. Do you think our parents ever went to slumber parties? They didn't have them in medieval times.
Can you picture our history teacher at a slumber party?
Oh, Tuttle the Terrible? I can't picture her doing anything. She was born an old maid.
The trouble with Miss Tuttle is that before she gets through with it, she makes certain that history is dead.
Miss Tuttle could make Roman history sound a little more interesting. I mean, she was there. Hey, you know who's a snap? Mr. Henderson. Give him the big toothy one, and it's an automatic B at least.
Oh, I wish those boys didn't have to go. Speaking of boys, how about that absolute dreamboat in our chemistry class?
That new boy, Paul Martin?
Mm.
He's really off time.
But you have Richard.
Oh, Richard's all right. But Paul has that certain something that Richard hasn't.
I know, a new car.
No, it isn't that. I mean, Paul seems so worldly. Wonder what it'd be like to kiss him.
Why don't I find out and let you know?
Maybe I'll find out for myself. Say where? Me.
Natalie, are you awake?
Yes, are you?
No, I'm talking in my sleep. Do you know what time it is?
Don't tell me.
It's 3 o'clock in the morning, and those kids are still awake down there.
Well, of course, they're having a slumber party.
Somebody must explain that to me sometime.
Do you remember the block parties we used to have when we were kids?
That was different.
Oh?
Oh, I was expected to be asleep by 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't you think we're being too permissive with Patty?
Of course not. I told her she couldn't have a slumber party.
Listen to them. They sound like a gaggle of geese. What in heaven's name do they find to talk about all night?
Boys, food, boys, teachers, boys, clothes, boys.
I'll certainly be glad when they're over this stage and a few years older.
No, you won't.
Why not?
Because Patty and Kathy will probably be married and living in their own homes. And we'll remember tonight and them downstairs with their friends at 3 o'clock in the morning. And we'll be grateful for tonight.
Yeah. Can't win, can you?
Good night, dear.
You want to bet?
Thanks, Patty and Kathy. It was dreamy.
We'll do it again next week.
My house next time.
Okay.
Gee, I hope breakfast is ready when I get home. Bye-bye now.
Bye, Patty. Bye.
I'm exhausted. It's the first time in my life I've ever stayed up all night.
Yeah, but wasn't it a gas?
Are human beings allowed in here now?
Hi, Papa. Good morning, Uncle Martin.
How was the orgy?
A blast.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like from upstairs.
Oh, I'm sorry if we kept you awake.
Think nothing of it. I'm going to curl up with a good newspaper. Your mother is upstairs, sleeping off the party.
That's what I'm going to do. I can't stay awake another minute.
Me too. Richard's taking me to the movies this afternoon. I don't want to fall asleep in the middle of 13 bony men.
You know who's a snap? Mr. Henderson. Give him the big toothy one, and it's an automatic B at least. The trouble with Miss Tuttle is that before she gets through with it, she makes certain that history is dead. Why, it's exactly what we said last night. Word for word. Observe the handwriting. It's that of Brother Rat. But how could he? I don't know how could he, but we're gonna find out. He's escaped. Come on. Hey, you. Oh, hi, girls. You promised you weren't going to listen in on us last night.
Who says I did?
I hand you Exhibit A, and here is Exhibit B.
I wasn't sure whether to write that or that new boy, Paul Martin. He's really all-time.
Keep talking.
Oh, Richard's all right. But Paul has that certain something that Richard has.
And you can stand here and tell us you weren't listening?
Yep, that's what I'm doing. Standing here and telling you I wasn't listening.
Then how?
Remember the tape recorder I got for my birthday?
You taped that conversation?
There's some real juicy stuff on it. I like the part where...
Never mind.
Locked in the safety vault at the bank, with orders that if anything happens to me, it'll be played at my funeral.
It's not in any safety vault. This is Sunday. Hand it over.
See my attorney.
I'll see your parents. That's who I'll see right now.
One word to Mom and Dad, and I play the tape for Richard.
Ross, why are you doing this to me? What have I done to you?
Nothing. But all of a sudden last night, it hit me that no matter how old I get, I'll never be older than you. Now, for a while, I can be. I want a little attention paid to me around here.
Why are you doing this to me?
You're just an innocent bystander.
When I find that tape, I'm gonna strangle you with it.
You won't find it. By the way, I've got a lot of homework. I'd like it done by tomorrow.
Why should I do your homework?
Not you, Kathy. I don't want to flunk.
Why should I do your homework?
The trouble with Miss Tuttle is...
Where is it?
On my desk. You can make my bed and clean my room.
You monster. If you think you're going to get away with it...
seems so worldly. I wonder what it would be like to kiss you.
What are we waiting for?
Hi, Richard.
Hey, you're not even dressed.
I can't go to the movies with you.
What's the matter? You sick or something?
Not exactly, but you're warm.
The family ground you? Well, then what's the matter?
I just can't go, Richard. I've got a headache, I think.
You think? Either you've got one or you haven't.
And I've got one, a big one. It's bigger than both of us.
Someone else?
How could you say such a thing?
Easy. I've seen you eyeing that Paul Martin character in chemistry class.
He doesn't mean a thing to me. You go on to the movie, Richard. I want you to enjoy yourself.
Enjoy myself? Go to a movie alone? I'll never understand women if I live to be 30.
The capital of Uruguay is Omaha, Buenos Aires.
Montevideo. Why?
Hello, Uncle Martin. I just thought it was time we learned more about our Latin American neighbors.
Well, that's Ross's homework you're doing, isn't it?
Ross had an important ball game.
And you're cleaning up his room for him. Now, you never set foot in here. You always said it wasn't fit for pigs.
It is now.
How did he con you two into this?
Oh, he didn't. We offered to do it. He looked sort of pale, and we told him to go out and get some fresh air or something.
Girls, are you sure everything is all right?
Fine, Uncle Martin. Sure. We'll do this for Ross, and he'll do something for us someday.
I'd like to live that long.
We must be more careful. Yeah. Listen, I've got an idea. You take this side of the room and I'll take that side. That tape has got to be here someplace. You must have swallowed it. Perhaps he has it buried somewhere. It has to be here. But I give up. Come on, Kathy, let's go. Go? Oh!
Martin, there's something funny going on around here.
I know.
Patty and Kathy are upstairs cleaning Ross's room.
Well, he had a very important ball game.
Patty even broke a date with Richard to go to the movies. Wish I knew what was going on.
Why don't we ask this gentleman? I have a feeling he knows.
Hi, Mom. Dad. What's wrong? Is my face clean or something?
Ross, I saw Kathy doing your homework today.
And I saw Patty cleaning your room.
How do you like that? You can't beat girls.
All we want to know is why.
That's just because Patty's a great kid. After all, she comes from wonderful parents.
Flattery will get you nowhere. What have you got on her?
Gosh, can a girl do a good deed for a brother without everybody getting suspicious?
In your case, no.
It's the unanimous opinion of her wonderful parents that something shady is going on.
Dad, there isn't. She just loves me like a brother, that's all.
Whatever it is, we'll probably never find out.
You know something? I'm glad.
Thanks. You may leave. Turn it on. Not that one, Channel 7. You may go. Dear Daddy, the other night I went to my first slumber party. At a slumber party, you don't sleep. Don't ask me why. He's giving me a coffee break. There must be some way to stop him. Do they sell hand grenades to minors? I don't think you'll have to find out. I have an idea. We can't drown him in the bathtub. He never takes a bath. I know how to find out where he's hiding that tape recorder. We will have to wait for the proper time, but I know it will work. Could I please speak to Paul Martin? Paul, it's Patty, dear. Oh, no, I'm sure Richard doesn't know anything about it. Oh, the same meeting place? That's wonderful. He'll never find it. Paul, you really do? Well, I feel the same way about you, too. The same place. Tomorrow? Darling, you know I'll be there.
Bye. Here is his secret weapon. Thanks, Kath. The reign of the little king is almost over. I shall summon His Majesty. Ross! Ross? Patty would like to talk to you a moment.
What does she want? I'm watching television.
I don't know. She said it was important.
What is it?
Come over here where we can't be heard. Listen, I'm worried. Mom and Pop are beginning to wonder about all the service you're getting.
So what? What they don't know won't hurt them.
What if they find out?
Why should they? I fool them all the time.
Oh, do you really?
Are you kidding? I can wrap them around my little finger anytime I feel like it.
You can? How?
There's nothing to it. If I want something from Pop, I tell him how great his editorials are.
But you really think so, don't you?
Who reads them?
How do you handle your mother?
That's easy. She eats up flattery. She comes down in the morning looking like a mess. I tell her how beautiful she is and the world's my oyster.
Well, if it's as easy as all that, I guess we don't have to worry.
All you have to worry about is me. By the way, I'm running a little short of my allowance again.
I'll take care of you.
I know I can count on you.
You certainly can.
Didn't you hear the bell?
Sure, we heard it.
Well?
We have something for you to hear.
There's nothing to it. If I want something from Pop, I tell him how great his editorials are.
Not this time, buddy boy. The king is dead. Long live the queen.
You aren't going to play that for Mom and Dad, are you?
You bet we are.
I was only showing off. You know I love them. It would hurt their feelings.
Look who is suddenly worried about hurting people's feelings. All right, we won't give it to them. As long as you do exactly what we tell you.
All right.
You may leave. Do you know, Patty? I feel sorry for him. Save your sympathy. We've got him just where we want him.
Ross?
Hi, Dad.
Do you know what it's going to mean, having our own private slave? He'll do our chores, run our errands.
Hi.
Oh, hi, Papa.
You two seem very happy.
We are, Uncle Martin.
You know, Ross doesn't seem very happy. I'm worried about him.
Oh, don't worry about Ross. We'll take care of him.
I have a hunch that he feels he's being neglected.
I promise you, he's not going to feel that way anymore.
Good. I know sometimes he's inclined to show off a little bit, but that's the only way he can fight back.
Fight back?
Well, being the youngest member of a family can be very painful, particularly if you're a sensitive boy with an older sister. Now, we all get so busy with our own problems sometimes that we forget how important Ross's problems can seem. But all he's looking for is love and recognition. Well, he gets plenty of love, but I'm not sure we've been giving him enough recognition. So I know I'm going to try a little harder, and well, I'm glad you're going to help. Well, going back to what you were doing.
Patty. Don't say it. We lost our slave.
Any more hot dogs? I want some more chili. Sure, we're loaded.
Do you mean to tell me you ate all that food already? You'll get sick.
care. What? If I get sick, you make the best hot dogs and chili in the whole block. Thanks. Promise you won't think I'm a sissy if I tell you something? Promise. I love you. I love you, too. Shh, not so loud. I don't want the guys to hear.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins.
When's the time you've asked me in the last half hour? Here. I don't need a watch. I need a dress. To tell time? To make time with Richard. He was supposed to have picked me up 2 hours ago. Do you know where he is? With Sue Ellen Turner. She has a new evening gown for the Saturday night dance. Richard wouldn't break a date with you. You haven't seen that evening gown. There he is. His Royal Highness has finally decided to show up. Well, he's not going to keep me waiting for 2 hours while he's out with another girl. Patty, don't worry. I'm not going to bawl him out or get hysterical and cry. I'm going to be very aloof. I'm going to be very calm, sophisticated. I'm going to say to him, Richard, that's the most inconsiderate thing I've ever heard of. I've been waiting for you for 2 hours, and if you think you can just come around whenever you feel like it and tell me you're sorry and that it'll never happen again, and that you want me to take you back, well, I won't do it. I don't care if I ever see you again. Sue Ellen Turner can have you for all I care. Oh, you can take Sue Ellen to the dance Saturday night.
Okay, I will.
Richard again. I can take him or leave him. Then why are you so upset? I don't mind leaving him, but I don't want him to leave me. Richard said he misunderstood about Saturday. I'm sure if you called him, everything would work out. Do you think I would stoop low enough to call him? What did he say? He's still taking Sue Ellen. You'd better hurry up, Patty. We'll be late for school. We're having our chemistry final this morning. They can't teach you chemistry in school. Either you have it or you haven't. I haven't. Are you the most popular girl at school? Ha! I can't even get a date with my own steady. Because some blonde comes up with a copy of a Paris original. You know, it's funny about boys. You think you have them all figured out, then whammo, you're nowhere. Yesterday I was an expert. Today I'm a wallflower. That's it. That's what? The dress I'm wearing to the Saturday night dance. I thought Richard broke his date with you. Well, he'll unbreak it when he sees me in that dress. But, Patty, it's so expensive. Where will you get the money? Papa will give it to me. Are you certain? Positively. I can wrap him around my little finger. All I have to say to him is, Papa, darling.
No.
Are you serious?
Test me.
But it's for the dance Saturday night. It'll be the most important dress of my whole life.
You don't need a dress that expensive, Patty.
Papa, if I don't get the dress, I'll lose Richard.
That's the first promising thing you've said yet.
I'm old enough to pick my own dresses.
Honey, when you're old enough to earn your own money, you'll be old enough to pick your own dresses. But while your mother and I are paying, we're picking.
I'll pay for it myself. All I need is an advance on my allowance.
You're already well into next year.
Boy, they talk about teenagers going through a difficult stage. What about parents?
Now, Patty, there's very little that your mother and I refuse you.
Yeah, but when you do, it's a matter of life and death.
I'd hardly put Richard in the category of life and death.
I could lose him.
I don't think that's going to happen. He never even dates any other girls.
That's just it. He thinks I'm great because he has nobody to compare me to. You should see Sue Ellen. That's really unfair competition.
Don't underestimate yourself, honey.
One date with her and he'll probably never look at me again.
Patty, if Richard is so fickle that he can be swayed by a dress, do you really think he's worth having?
Yes. Now, will you buy me the dress?
No.
But, Patty, your father said you can't have the dress. Oh, no. He said, honey, when you're old enough to earn your own money, you'll be old enough to pick your own dresses. So, all I have to do is think of some business to go into. But you can't possibly earn that much money between now and Saturday. All I need is enough of the down payment. Now, what can I do? You can forget it, Patty. Have you ever earned any money? Sure. I've done lots of things. To wit, what? Well, when I was 5, I had a newspaper stand out front. As soon as Papa finished reading the morning papers, I'd go out and sell them. And I've done some babysitting. Babysitting? Oh, you mean tot tending? When Father had a newspaper assignment in London, I used to do that to earn extra money. Well, babysitting or tot tending, it's no good. You get $1 an hour, but you can go 2 or 3 weeks before somebody asks you to sit. There's no organization to it. An organization for babysitting.
And that's why you brought me over here? And all the nutty ideas.
Nutty idea? That's what they said about Columbus when he went looking for America. Don't you see? If we organize all the babysitters at school to work for our agency, and they pay us a commission.
Why?
Because we get them the jobs. The people with the babies call our agency.
Why?
Because they can make one call and be sure of getting a babysitter trained in talcuming, burping, diapering, and pablumum and numbing.
And who trains them?
We do. All right, I do. But it's silly of me to explain all that to your executive brain.
It's sure... My what brain?
Executive. I mean, you'd be sitting behind that big old desk. Doctor's babysitting service. A one-sitter? Right. What address? Bring. Hold it, please. Doctor's babysitting service, Richard L. Harrison speaking. Bring. One moment, please. Doctor's babysitting service, Richard L. Harrison, president and manager speaking. I mean, you'd be doing all that and assigning the sitters? Okay, boss, 320 Park Avenue. Right, oh, boss, I'm the double boss. And, of course, you'd also be busy handling the agency commissions and putting our profits in the bank.
Well, I can see you're gonna need someone to run it for you, or you'll make a mess of it.
You said it, boss.
Is that, doctor's babysitting service?
Well, I sat for Dr. Fletcher once, so I'm a doctor's babysitter. And it's obvious to a big executive brain like yours that calling it that will give parents confidence in us. Won't it?
Yes, it will. Yes, it will.
Mom's reading glasses to make me look older and more reliable.
Yeah, they do a lot for you.
J.R. Gresham. Oh, I'll take that now.
Now, what's in it?
Baby supplies.
Oh, it seems like I should carry it.
In the medical profession, the nurse does the heavy work, not the doctor.
Oh, listen now, don't you tell those people I'm really a doctor.
Well, all right. Are you still taking those pills for your stomach?
Sure. In the morning and before I go to bed.
Well, at least I can say you're taking medicine. Somebody's coming. Well, here we go. Our first call. Good luck. Are you Mrs. Gresham?
Yes.
Do you have a child who sometimes needs the services of a babysitter?
Well, I do have a 5-year-old boy, but when we want a sitter, we usually phone around and manage to find somebody. Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. I dropped my doctor's babysitting service kit, which is full of baby supplies, and which all our sitters carry because we're so efficient at babysitting.
I don't think...
And if you use our service, you don't have to do all that phoning around. One call to Doctor's Babysitting Agency will bring a qualified, trained babysitter to your door practically before you hang up. If we could step inside and tell you about some of our services, we have a whole gob of advantages. After you, Doc.
You seem quite young. You did say Doc.
Yes, ma'am. Harrison.
M.D.?
No, ma'am. Richard L.
We call him Doc because he's taking medicine. Really? Oh, yes, ma'am. Night and day.
It's my stomach. It's nervous.
My name is Patricia Lane. Miss Patricia Lane. I have never married.
Won't you sit down? At least I can listen to a few of your agency's gobs of advantages.
Well, our biggest advantage is that we can always keep an eye on everything.
Are you all right?
Yes, ma'am. I was just so interested in telling you about our agency's advantages, I didn't see the little old chair. Our other advantage is that all our babysitters are trained in baby care.
Well, that is an advantage.
Not only are they trained, but wait till you see the kit. Each of our cities carries this Doctor's Babysitter Services baby service kit. It's very complete. Talcum powder, diapers, safety pins, blanket, and rattle.
Honey, do you know what those landlords have done? They have arranged to bring up that zoning revision at the council meeting tonight.
Can they get it passed?
Well, not if we get every tenant in the building down there to protest. And that's what we have to do. Now.
We can't leave Edmund alone, and they're the other parents. Wait. These youngsters have a babysitting service.
You think they're reliable?
Well, they're cute and very sincere, and I'm sure they're a lot more conscientious than the teenage sitters that we usually get. Miss Lane, could you get 5 babysitters here by 7 o'clock?
Well, our sitters do have a lot of jobs tonight. 5. Yes, ma'am.
Well, you better hurry.
Don't worry. We'll be back. Miss Lane, yes? Thank you. We did it. We're in business.
You promised her 5 sitters. Now, where are we going to get 5 sitters?
Why not? All the kids are in this building. I'll get Kathy. The 3 of us can handle it. And think of the money we're going to make.
I wish I really were a doctor. I feel sick.
Come on, what can go wrong?
I won't know until 7 o'clock.
Aren't you ready yet? I'll be there as soon as I can. If I don't post my letter to Father before 8 o'clock, it'll be a day late and he'll worry.
Oh, Patty, dear, that's no way to eat your dinner.
I know, Mom, but my whole future as a businesswoman and a wife depends on what happens tonight. You don't want me to be an old maid, do you?
Hey, where are you going?
To work. Remember, you said if I earned it, I could buy it.
Buy?
Bye.
Buy what?
Bye,
Honey, the meeting starts in 15 minutes. Oh, come in, Mr. Mickle.
Oh, we're leaving now, Gresham. I just wanted a word with the sitters.
Patty, Richard, this is Mr. Mickle. He's in apartment number 4.
How do you do?
I want you to treat my little Bobby with care and consideration.
Oh, we will, sir.
Well, some of the sitters have been prejudiced against Bobby. He's a wonderful, charming, perfectly normal boy. Both his psychiatrists say so.
Better get started. I'll be right behind you.
Hello, Charlie.
Oh, hello, Mickle.
Kids, this is Mr. Anderson, apartment number 7.
How do you do? Now, listen, I want you to put your best sitter in my apartment, number 7. You see, little Rollo is only 6 months old, and, well, he's just a baby, and he misses us so much, and, well, he cries when we're gone.
There, Charlie. Rollo be all right?
I promise you, sir, we'll take special care of Rollo.
Oh, thank you.
In all my life, I've never seen a man so crazy about a puppy.
Puppy? Huh? I guess from now on, it's Doctor's baby and puppy sitting service.
Patty, Richard, this is Edmund.
Oh, hi, Edmund.
Now, he can stay up and watch TV until 8 o'clock, but after that, it's sleepy bye.
Good night, son.
Goodbye, Daddy. Goodbye, Mommy. Well, you get Edmund started on his television. I'll go open the doors to the apartment so we can hear anything that goes on.
Good idea. What do you want to watch tonight, Edmund?
I want Wagon Train.
Wagon Train isn't on right now.
I want Wagon Train. I want Wagon Train. I want Wagon Train.
I've already got a problem with little Edmund.
Well, change him.
I will not. Anyhow, that's not the problem.
All right, I'll be there in a minute. I want to look at the puppy. Hello there, nice puppy. Come on, Maxie, watch it.
Are you all right?
Oh, fine.
Oh, boy, we gotta do something about that little Edmund.
I want to watch Wagon Train. I want to watch Wagon Train. Are you the babysitter? Yeah, I am. Could you come in here, please?
Number 4. You know, both his psychiatrists. I better handle it.
Oh, no. You take the puppy over with Edmund. After Rollo, anything will be a pleasure.
Come on, Rollo. Sweet Rollo. Nice Rollo. I can handle him fine. Come on.
You all right there, babysitter? Good. I don't want to knock you off too early. I figure I can get a couple more hours of fun out of you tonight.
You little.
You might as well quit, kiddo. I've already been called everything. The one I like best is the babysitter killer of Avenue B.
That was a mean trick, dropping that bucket of water over the door.
Please don't tell anybody, please.
Well, I don't know.
Please don't. That trick's strictly amateur stuff. You'll ruin my reputation around the neighborhood.
Well, you'll be good on...
I'll do the best I can. But I'm just a fun-loving little monster. Okay, let's get some action around here. Whoa! Sorry I'm late. How is the babysitting business?
Business?
Don't worry, the wagon train will be along any second now. Bobby promised he'd be good if we read to him. So Patty went to get his book.
I have both babies in the other bedroom. They're sleeping beautifully. After a while, I'll move them to number 6.
Well, here's his bedtime storybook, The Life and Times of Jack the Ripper.
You didn't expect me to go for that Mother Goose jazz, did you?
I have to get back to my nursery.
If you need me, call. My healthy little body is too charged with energy to listen to a book. I want you to play a game with me.
I know a nice little game I'd like to play with you.
Richard, I think that's illegal.
I want to play pin the tail on the donkey.
All right, if it'll keep him out of trouble, I'll play with him.
I'll play with you, but we won't play pin the tail on the donkey.
Okay, I ain't got no donkey anyway. We'll play finger in the ear.
Finger in the ear?
I close my eyes and see if I can put my finger in your ear without looking.
Okay, but we'll do it the other way around. I'll put my finger in your ear.
Well, okay. Richard. Put Edmund to bed. He's asleep. Ain't that sweet? Shh. Yes, it is. And you've been very sweet, too. For the last 5 minutes, anyway. Don't turn it up. You might wake Edmund. I'll just look at it without any sound. Good.
Everything's quiet, huh?
At last. Good at being bad. Put him in bed, babies. I'll get him to sleep. Perhaps you'd better go too and let me handle Bobby. Oh, no, I got us into this. I'll handle him. You're the boss. You heard what she said. From now on, I'm gonna boss. Sit there. Mother Goose. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to get her poor dog a bone. When she got there, the cupboard was bare, so the poor dog had none.
Oh, look at the puppy in the picture.
There's no puppy.
There, a little bitty puppy. I can see it. Look closer.
There. I don't care how permissive your parents are.
Kiddo.
That Bobby's not to be believed. I don't know what he'll do next. I think we'd better find out. I'll go peek in the Gresham's kitchen to see what he's up to. The parents are back!
Well, how's Rollo? He's all right, isn't he?
Oh, he's fine. He's a number 6, and so are Edmund and the other babies.
Where's Bobby?
Bobby!
I'm in the kitchen, Patty. Come on in. I've got a big surprise for you.
A surprise. Isn't that sweet?
Why don't you go in and you surprise him?
Bobby?
You all messy, Patty? I'll clean you off. Boy, oh boy, I'm ready. That's tonight.
If you're not, you're sure gonna be. Come here.
Kathy, you look beautiful. If you didn't have a date tonight, I'd take you to that dance myself.
Thank you, Uncle Martin.
Isn't Patty ready yet?
She's putting on the finishing touches.
Raising a daughter is really an education. For instance, men always wonder when it is you women start being late for dates. You start in your teens.
We need to practice.
How do you like my new dress?
You look too good for Richard Harrison. So you must have really impressed him with your business ability for him to break his date with Sue Ellen and take you out.
I didn't impress him. I put him in a state of shock. He's taking me out because he says I'm helpless without him.
That's a marvelous approach, dear. Remember it.
You mean it's been used before?
Well, I won't say it's old, but I'd be willing to bet that Eve asked Adam if he'd mind reaching up and pulling down the branch so she could pick the apple.
There's the boy. Hi.
Hi, Patty. Good evening. Hi, Kathy. Here's your corsage.
Thank you, Craig.
Here's the corsage I brought for you, Patty. And here's one I found on the doorstep.
On the doorstep? To Patty from a secret admirer.
Oh, some guy's got a lot of nerve. Who sent it?
How do I know? Is a girl expected to know all our secret admirers?
Well, let me see it. Bobby. Bobby? That little monster. That's some secret admirer.
Don't laugh. It was very sweet of him. Gives you kind of a warm feeling to know you reformed a bad little boy.
Whatever you say.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find
They laugh alike.
they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are
Strychnine or sulfuric acid? Sulfuric acid.
And besides, strychnine leaves such an unpleasant aftertaste.
Go ahead, laugh. What do you care if the whole entire student body cries itself to sleep tonight?
Would you be willing to tell us what the whole entire student body will be crying about?
The basketball team. We're going to lose the big game.
Don't be silly, child. For the first time in 10 years, we've got a team that can't lose. With Stretch Edwards in there, we're a cinch to win the league title.
That's the point. He's not in there. He left school today.
Stretch can't leave. I mean, the big game is only a week away.
Hi, everybody. Isn't it lovely? It was expensive, but worth it.
Isn't that a Ferranti original?
That's right.
It's beautiful.
Only one in the world like it. I'm going to have shade made for it.
That's nice.
It's made of Carrara marble.
It's wonderful. Now, tell me about Stretch.
His father got a job in Detroit. They moved today.
Well, somebody should have talked to his parents.
They did. The principal, the coach, and the president of the student body. Is basketball really worth all that fuss?
It is when you spent 10 years with a losing team and you finally get a chance to make mincemeat out of the opposition. Why can't they fly Stretch back for the game?
Papo, if a student lives out of the district, he's ineligible.
And so everybody just sat around and did nothing while we lost the greatest center that Brooklyn Heights High ever had. Why didn't you tell me this before?
I just found out.
You'd think some public-spirited citizen would have stepped forward and offered his home for this boy.
Like who?
Like us. He could have stayed here.
Martin, let's not get carried away.
Now, Natalie, it would only have been for a week. Brooklyn Heights hasn't won a championship for 10 years. Where's your loyalty?
It's a shame it's too late.
Yeah, he's probably halfway to Detroit by now.
You mean you would really have invited him to stay here?
Certainly. Why, if that boy weren't on his way to Detroit, he'd be an honored guest in this home tonight.
You can come in now, Stretch.
Yeah. Come on in, Stretch.
I sure appreciate your hospitality, Mrs. Lane. Thank you, sir.
They don't make Carrara marble like they used to.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Kathy's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! They're cousins. Cousins all the way. One pair of beautiful kids, different as night and day. Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet Russe and Cougar Suzette.
You sure cook a lot like my mother, Mrs. Lane.
I imagine she spends most of her time in the kitchen.
She always said I could eat faster than she could cook.
I believe her.
Basketball players have to eat a lot to keep up their energy.
There certainly is a lot of them to keep up, isn't there? I'm going to be a basketball player, too, as soon as I put a little height on.
Say, while you're here, you think you could teach me some basketball plays?
Stick to checkers. Boy, when I grow 6 more inches, am I going to get you?
I'll clear the table. Why don't you go in the other room?
I'd like to help, Mrs. Lane.
No, never mind. The girls will help her.
I really want to help. I appreciate everything you've done for me.
Did you hurt yourself?
No, I'm fine. It's okay.
I'll have it raised.
Thanks. Let me help you, Mrs. Lane. Gosh, I'm sorry.
Oh, don't give it another thought, boy. That just goes to prove what great shape you're in. Right?
Wrong.
These should work nicely. Cuckoo, one for each foot. Isn't it wild having Stretch here? He's a bit awkward, isn't he? Not on a basketball court, he's not. Stretch Edwards is the greatest center Brooklyn Heights High ever had. So he can toss a ball in a basket. He scored over 30 points in all the games this year. If Stretch Edwards isn't great, I'd like to know who is. Vladimir Horowitz. Where does he play? Philharmonic? Oh, that's Vladimir Horowitz. Boy, wait till I tell the guys Stretch Edwards slept here. They'll flip. I sure wish he'd teach me how to play basketball.
Gee, this looks great.
All set, Stretch. We put an extension on for you.
Oh, it feels good.
Sit?
Sure does. Perfect.
Good. You sure you're comfortable?
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Good night, Stretch. Good night, Daddy.
Good night.
Good night, Ross. Sleep well. Night, Stretch.
Night, Ross.
What are you doing?
Figuring our losses. Let's see, $85 for the lamp, $6 for dishes, about $200 for a new refrigerator.
Honey, accidents can happen.
Especially with Stretch around. It's like having King Kong in the house.
It's always a little awkward.
Say his folks moved to Detroit.
Yeah?
I wonder if they gave him the address.
How much?
Of course. Oh, it's $14.95. Now, don't worry about it. When Stretch leaves, Ross can use it. Hey, come on, Stretch. Try a few shots.
Come on. Come on, Stretch.
Great, Stretch. Beautiful.
Isn't it a little close to the house?
Certainly not. That boy's got the eye of an eagle.
And the grace of a hippo.
There you go. Come on, Stretch. Let's go. Come on, show out.
Come on, Stretch. Let's try a little teamwork.
You'd better not, Mr. Lane. I throw him kind of hard.
The harder, the better. I used to play a little basketball myself. Okay, Stretch. Come on, let's now, hit me right under the basket.
One broken window? $25.
Good evening, Coach Coughlin.
Oh, good evening, Mrs. Lane. I hope I'm not intruding.
Oh, not at all. They're playing the Purdue-Stanford game in the living room.
Oh, Rob.
Come on in.
Coach Coughlin. Mark. Good evening. You know everyone. Yes. Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
Coach.
Hi, Kathy.
Won't you sit down?
Hi, Patty. Thank you. I don't want to seem premature, Coach, but congratulations. For what? For coaching the first Brooklyn Heights champions in 10 years. Does anybody here know my wife?
Well, yes. Mrs. Coughlin is my English literature teacher.
Well, when I got up this morning, I said to her, Florence, only 6 more days and I'll have that silver cup right in my hand. And she said, Horace, you haven't got a chance. And I said, why? And she said, because he's flunking. And I said, who? And she said, Stretch Edwards. Well, when I came to, I said, if it's close, Florence, let him pass. Please, Flo. And she said, how can I? He's got a semester average of 27 out of a possible 100. I made a deal with her. The final examination is Friday. She said she'll pass you if you get a B.
Thanks, Coach. You're all heart.
No, just level with me. Don't let me get my hopes up high. Can you get a B?
No.
Thanks. Have a nice trip to Detroit. Isn't there any chance you could pass that test?
Not even if my own mother gave it to me.
Well, it was a beautiful dream while it lasted.
No B, no game. Of course Stretch can play, if he wants to.
He can?
Certainly. You are all arguing on a false premise.
But I still have to pass that test.
I know. That is the simplest thing in the world. Edgar Allan Poe, American author and critic, born 1809, died 1849. Among his stories were the murders of the Rue Morgue and the Purloined Letter. His poems, The Raven, The Bells, and Annabel Lee, are noted for their fantastic imagery. Great! Do you think it'll really work? Of course it will. It's psychologically motivated. Repetition is impressed upon the subconscious so that he can draw on the information at any time he pleases. It's a kooky way to win a basketball game, but who might argue with science?
There it is, Stretch. The unconscious teacher. Well, we're going to win this game.
I don't get it.
It's a revolutionary educational technique. It's a cinch. You learn while you're asleep.
I don't learn when I'm wide awake.
You've got to think positive.
Positively.
So I said, positively.
Well, let's pop into bed, Stretch.
Now? It's only 8 o'clock, Mr. Lane. Who goes to bed at 8 o'clock?
I do.
I never go to sleep before 10 o'clock.
Well, this night is different. This is going to be the most rewarding night's sleep you've ever had. And tomorrow morning, those questions will be what you call a snap.
You mean I have to listen to that all night?
You don't have to do anything. Your subconscious will do all the work.
Now, let's get under the covers.
How do you sleep at 8 o'clock?
Try closing your eyes for a starter. Good night, Stretch. Good night, Ron. Good night, Dad. Good night, Ron. Good night, Dad. Deep breath.
Give the boy a chance. Okay. Now, you be quiet.
I won't even brush my teeth.
Good. Stretch, I'm sorry. It was an accident. Stretch, do you hear me? It was just an accident. I'm sorry.
He's asleep. Edgar Allan Poe, American author and critic, born 1809.
It's not going to keep you awake, is it?
Can't even hear it.
Good.
Murders of the Rue Morgue and the Purloined Letter. His poems, The Raven, The Bells, Edgar Allan Poe, American author. Good morning. Come on, Kath, let's get started.
Yeah, go ahead, Kathy. Fire away.
Who was Thomas Paine?
Thomas Paine. Thomas Paine. The forward of Clinton High.
Wrong team, Stretch. He was the forward for the Minutemen. You remember? The Age of Reason, The Rights of Man. What about Edgar Allan Poe?
The writer?
I knew he could do it.
He wrote... I'm sorry.
What about Bret Harte?
It's no use. I just don't know.
Sure you do. He wrote... What did he write? The Outcast of Poker Flats, Plain Language from Truthful James, and The Luck of the Roaring Camp.
I guess I'm just dumb. It was nice of you to try and help me, but I'm hopeless.
Stretch.
There goes our last hope.
I'm sorry, darling.
I can't understand the machine not working. I can't either. Everyone knows that Edgar Allan Poe wrote The Bells, The Raven, and The Purloined Letter, that Robert Louis Stevenson wrote Treasure Island and Kidnapped. Didn't work, huh? Listen to him.
Great. Now all we have to do is teach him how to shoot a basket, stretch him 4 feet 5, and everything will be fine.
Stretch? You're not leaving.
What's there to stay for?
A lot of people are depending upon you.
And I've let them all down. 17 years old and a failure.
No, you're not. Oh, why, you're the school hero.
Some hero. When I was born, I was a little baby. I mean, little. I was just like everybody else until I was 10. Then all of a sudden, I shot up. And now all I'm good for is playing basketball and helping my father paint the ceiling. Believe me, I wish I needed a ladder. I feel like a freak.
You mustn't feel like that, Stretch. I feel silly calling you Stretch. What is your real name?
Elliot.
I've felt like a freak too, Elliot. My father is a foreign correspondent. Ever since I was a baby, I've traveled all over the world with him.
That sounds great.
Oh, it was. Except that everywhere we went, I was the new kid. It's not easy for me to make friends. I'm not as outgoing as Patty. So, when I finally did manage to make friends in a new school, in a new country, we'd move on and I'd have to begin all over again.
That's rough, Kathy.
I learned to fight in a lot of languages. You have no real problem, Elliot. You're tall and a very good athlete. And I'll bet you're very bright, too.
You know better than that. You're in my English lit class. I'm a dunce.
No, you're not. I've seen you in sessions with Coach Coughlin. Those plays are so complicated I couldn't follow them.
That's different. That stuff's simple.
Is it? Would you show me?
Sure. Everything's with numbers. For instance, this is number 12. I'm at center. I pass the ball to the forward, who flips it over to the guard. Guard feints and passes it over to the point man. The point man takes it and dribbles over to the other forward, who passes it across to the other guard. The guard takes and dribbles down to the other forward and gives it back to me. I take it and pass it over to the guard. He dribbles down to the other forward, who passes the ball to me. I take it and wham.
12 means all of that?
That's one of the simple ones. We've got 35 plays. Some of them are real tricky.
And you've memorized them all by numbers.
It's easy.
Elliot, I want you to listen to me. You are going to pass that exam.
Me?
You. And we're going to do it by the numbers. Something to keep your strength up.
Gee, thanks.
That's all right. How's it going? Beautifully. Listen. Now, by the numbers. 11. Hup!
11, Robert Louis Stevenson. Born 1850, died 1894. Rode Kidnapped Treasure Island, the Master of Ballantrae.
Right. 17. Hup!
17, Mark Twain, pseudonym Samuel Langhorne Clemens. Born 1835, died 1910. Rode Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, Connecticut Yankee.
That's great, Stretch.
You know something?
What?
It's easy with you calling the signals, but who's going to quarterback during the examination?
We'll worry about that later. Let me handle that when the time comes. No, thank you. Right now, we've got to get those signals. 77. Hup!
77, Edgar Allan Poe, American author and critic, born 1809, died 1849. He wrote... The Bells, A Purloined Letter, and,
Is everything all arranged? Jack, we'll be outside the classroom window in exactly 8 minutes. Good show. Hi.
Hi.
Elliot, how do you feel?
I feel a little dizzy.
You'll be all right.
I hope so.
He looks kind of green. He feels a bit warm. He's just nervous about the test.
This is the final examination in English literature. It concerns the lives and works of writers we've discussed in class. Now, you have an hour to complete the examination, and you may begin now.
Mrs. Copeland?
Yes, Kathy?
It's terribly warm in here. May I open the window?
Certainly.
Thank you.
We're for Brooklyn, and no one could be prouder. And if you cannot hear us, we'll yell a little louder. We're for 11!
Hello, Mrs. Copeland.
That noise is disconcerting, Kathy. Would you mind closing the window?
terribly warm in here, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Mrs. Coughlin?
Yes, Kathy.
I still think it's terribly warm in here. The temperature must be at least 77. Mrs. Coughlin?
What is it now?
The clock says it's 14 after 10. Actually, it's 16 after.
Well, thank you for calling it to our attention. Don't do it again.
Mrs. Coughlin.
Kathy.
This is room 19, isn't it? I want to put it at the head of my paper.
I want you to finish the balance of this examination in the assembly hall. Right now.
Hello, darling. You're home early.
Well, I'm just covering the local sporting scene. You heard anything yet?
Nothing yet. Shouldn't be long now.
Well? He flunked.
Everything went fine until Mrs. Coughlin closed the window.
What's got to do with the examination?
Nothing.
Kathy.
I tried to help him, but Mrs. Coughlin got a little disagreeable about it and insisted I leave the room.
You didn't cheat, Kathy.
Not really. I was just calling the signals, and Mrs. Coughlin didn't let me finish.
There goes the old ball game.
Who's the boy? All back!
What are you cheering about?
Stretch past the exam. He's gonna play. It worked.
I don't believe it.
He didn't either.
Well, congratulations. We just heard.
We knew you could do it, boy. Wonderful. What about it? Sit down here. There was nothing to it. The boy is a brain. And we're going to play in the league finals, and we're going to win. Yeah! Aren't we, Stretch boy? Rickety rack, rickety rack. Who's the boy? We all back.
Elliot!
I sure appreciate the confidence you people have in me.
We knew you could do it, Elliot.
All of a sudden, it came easy. I didn't need the numbers anymore. I just looked at the questions and wrote down the answers.
Oh, I can see the look in the other coaches' faces. You know what I said to my wife this morning? I said, Florence, you know that picture of your mother on the mantelpiece? And she said, yeah, well, what about it? I said, well, take it down. You know why? Because that's where the silver cup is going to go. You know why she's not going to take that picture down, Stretch?
Why?
Because you've got the measles.
The measles?
The measles?
I've waited 10 long years for this day. And what do I end up with on my mantle? My mother-in-law.
How do you feel?
Okay. I'm sure sorry, Kathy.
Why?
I've been nothing but trouble. Now you've got me for 2 more weeks.
I don't mind. I'm beginning to like athletes a lot. What you're doing for us is terribly nice.
Oh, it isn't anything.
Don't forget to drink your water, Elliot. Good night.
Good night. Number 68. The center pushes the ball to the guard, flips it over to the forward. The forward takes the ball and passes it to the point man. The point man takes it and dribbles out in the center. Center takes it, throws it to the guard on the left side. Guard on the right side. His man takes it.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins.
A new horror picture at the Ritz.
I'll see if I have enough money.
Let me know.
Congratulations, Patty. What'd I do?
Maybe you won a sweepstakes or something.
Let's see what the Jungle Drums are saying.
Hi,
Patty.
Hi, Patty.
Congratulations. What are you talking about? Haven't you heard? You're up for the presidency of the Girls' League. Me? I nominated my cousin Kathy. Kathy made it, too.
How about that? You and Kathy are running against one another.
Oh, no.
I think it's wonderful having two presidential candidates under the same roof.
Oh, but I couldn't run against Patty. The Girls' League needs someone who's popular. What they call a wheel. I'll withdraw. Oh, no, you'd make a better president than I would. They need someone with culture. You've lived all over Europe. You speak French. I'll withdraw.
Well, just a minute. If you've both been accepted as nominees, neither one of you can withdraw.
What's going to stop us?
What do you think would happen to our whole political system if a nominee withdrew just because he liked his opponent?
You see, you could undermine the whole structure of our country.
I'm serious. Which one of you wins is not important. The important thing is that you get in there and try.
Yeah, beat each other's brains out. Kathy and me to fight one another, Papa?
I'm not sure this is such a good idea, Martin.
Well, there's nothing personal in it. Politics is a healthy form of competition. I've covered hundreds of campaigns. Everybody blows off a lot of steam, but when it's all over, there aren't any hard feelings. When you girls were accepted as candidates, you were given a responsibility to campaign to the best of your ability. Well, you owe that to your schoolmates, both of you.
When do you two make your speeches?
We're supposed to fire the opening guns in our U.S. history class tomorrow. If you get elected, can I get in on the graft?
Boss, doesn't the honor involved make any impression on you?
Only the graft.
Meet Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bouquets, different as night and day. Where Kathy adores a minuet, the ballet russe, and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves to rock and roll, a hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet, still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Don't worry, Kath. I'll find an excuse not to run. I'll probably flunk in Latin anyway, and they'll disqualify me. I won't let you fail in Latin. They need a dynamo like you. I know I'd make a great president, but they could use someone with brains, like you. I'd be selfish if I ran. If you were president, it would not only be good for the League, it would be good for you. What do you mean? Well, it might help to give you a sense of responsibility. Is that so? Well, there's no point in taking chances on getting someone's feelings hurt. It'd be a landslide anyway. No, it wouldn't. You'd get a lot of votes, Patty. I meant it would be a landslide for me. You? You're silly. You're not really qualified to be a president. You said so yourself. You nominated me because they need someone with culture and brains. Well, I was being unselfish, too. I nominated you because I thought if you became a little more social around the campus, you might be able to get a date for the mashed potato ball. I can get a date any time I like. There's just no one I care to go out with. I nominated you because I thought it might help you to grow up. I thought it was time you had a little more in your mind than milkshakes and Richard Harrison. Not necessarily in that order. Oh, really? All right. You just got yourself an opponent. I'm not much of a speaker. In fact, I'm not much of a politician. My esteemed opponent, Patty, is a wonderful girl. And she is a go-getter. The trouble is that when you want her to get, she's usually too busy going. It all depends on what qualities the Girls' League wants in a president. If you're looking for someone who can do the bossa nova and the baked potato, vote for Patty. But if you want someone who isn't flighty, someone who will dedicate herself to the tasks at hand with intelligence and integrity, then I ask that you vote for me. Thank you.
And now we'll hear from our next candidate, Patty Lane.
Thank you, Kathy. Well, at least I know the difference between the mashed potato and a baked potato. One is a dance, the other is a vegetable. One of the most important functions of the Girls' League is to set up extracurricular activities for its members. Kathy's idea of having a ball is to play chess all night. If you want chess and classical concerts, elect her. But if you want a program of real fun, elect me.
And now our third candidate, Susan Baxter. Vote for me.
And then she called on me, and I got up and talked. It was the first speech I had ever made.
Were you nervous?
Not after I started. I'll bet you were smashed. Well, I did reasonably well, I think. For someone who was only interested in chess. I didn't mean that, Kath. It was just campaign talk. You know, like calling someone flighty.
What did I tell you? Democracy in action.
And if I'm elected president of the Girls' League, I pledge to fight for more student dances. We need more guest speakers. We want more freedom in our choice of clothes. I say we should be more concerned with curriculum than with clothes. Kathy's been living in Europe. Maybe she'd understand our problems better if they were in French. I have a straight-A average. What is Patty's answer to that? Who wants a grind for president? In 2 years, we will be going to college. Let's not elect a president who has milkshakes for brains. The Girls' League should support our school sports. If Kathy is elected, we'll all be tripping over cricket wickets.
Vote for me.
Quo vadis, Richard?
Great, Patty. Of course, it's still pretty early. You know what I think we should do?
What?
Set up a regular campaign headquarters, the way they do in the national elections.
Crazy, Richard, with buttons and stickers and everything.
That's a ticket.
And I know just where to set up headquarters.
Good morning.
Yes, again.
Good evening.
Don't look now, but I think World War III has just broken out. Welcome to National Headquarters.
Yeah, but Patty and Kathy share this room.
They did. Kathy took one look at this and fled from the house.
It's the lowest trick I've ever heard of. She's turned our bedroom into her campaign headquarters.
That's pretty terrible, all right.
I could kill myself.
Because your cousin's such a sneak?
No, because I didn't think of it first. Come on.
Where to?
We're going to counterattack. Can I help you, Kathy? You've already helped me by letting me out of your room, Ross. You're certain you won't mind sleeping on the couch? For 50 cents a night, I'd sleep on the roof. Are you sure Conrad Hilton started this way?
The banner's up.
Good. I wonder what the sneak is up to. I wonder what the sneak is up to.
They've got the banner up.
Never trust a relative.
Gee, Patty, you practically threw her out of here. She had to go somewhere.
Whose side are you on?
Well, yours, only I hate to see women go to war. At least men are logical.
I wish I knew what she was doing.
What's the difference?
It's just good strategy to know what the enemy has up her sleeve. Hi, group.
Say, what do you hear from the White House?
And you gave her your room, you traitor.
That's a lie. I'm renting it to her.
Ross.
Yes, Mr. President?
How'd you like to be a spy?
I'm too young to get shot.
For $1?
You just bought yourself a spy. Who do I shoot?
I can't get into Kathy's headquarters, but you can.
Gee, I don't know, sis.
All you have to do is let me know what's going on in there, what she's planning.
I'll take my money in advance.
Richard. Give him $1 for me, will you?
I wonder if campaign contributions are deductible.
Now, I want you to get me all the information you can.
I feel like Mata Hari.
Is the new campaign slogan ready?
And they're still working on it.
What's it gonna say?
Take the right lane, Patty. How's that for a slogan?
Take the right lane, Patty.
That's great, Richard. By the way, where are you gonna put it?
In the school corridor tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. It'll be the first thing the kids see when they get to school.
Hi, Kenny. What are your plans?
We're going to have a rally at noon tomorrow.
How many L's in rally?
Tomorrow afternoon, we can put up the campaign posters. We can do it as soon as school is over.
Tomorrow afternoon will be too late. What? Nothing.
Do you know what we lack? A good, effective campaign slogan.
Kathy?
Yes, Rod.
How would you like to hire a counter spy?
Look! We've been taken. Would you please ask Kathy to pass the salt?
Kathy, would you pass... Aren't you talking to her?
I'd rather not discuss it.
Then I'm afraid you'll have to try a salt-free diet.
Would you please ask Patty to pass the bread, Uncle Martin?
Well, even in national presidential campaigns, the candidates still talk to one another.
But they don't call their opponents spindle-headed bores. And they don't accuse their opponents of having milkshake for brains.
They do if it's true.
As for you, do you know what you are?
Sure, an operator. You have to fight fire with fire.
Listen, I've had...
Time! Now, what is this all about?
Kathy is running a vicious, underhanded campaign. I can't help it if the truth hurts. The students don't want an electronic brain for president. They want a natural-born leader, like me.
Now, wait a minute. Let's declare the dining room neutral territory, okay?
It's too late. And it's your fault.
My fault? I'm not even running.
Maybe you should start. I asked you to let both of them withdraw in the beginning, King Solomon.
Well, you were wrong. This is nothing but a little healthy letting off of steam. Ross, would you ask your mother to pass me the butter?
Couldn't you sleep either?
No. There's too much political tension in the air.
I'll fix that for you.
Oh, thanks. You know, I'm sorry about that little scene at dinner tonight.
We both acted like children.
You know, it's really ridiculous of us to worry about the girls. They love one another.
I know.
They couldn't be closer if they were sisters.
I know.
Well, what are we so worried about?
Martin, what if Kathy's elected? What about Patty?
What do you mean?
Patty won't like it one bit. She's a born winner.
Well, maybe it's time she had a little experience as a loser.
Patty would take it very hard if she lost. So would Kathy.
Oh, look, Natalie, I've covered hundreds of campaigns.
This isn't a smoke-filled caucus room. These are two sensitive girls competing with each other, and they're beginning to beat each other's brains out. What do you want, mayonnaise or mustard?
I'll vote for mustard.
I'll take mayonnaise. I heard on tonight's grapevine that Richard's going to take a straw ballot.
How'd it come out?
Ross doesn't know yet.
Ross, he's your grapevine?
Don't laugh. I think there's a good chance Ross could come out of this election a millionaire. Martin, what does a straw ballot mean?
Well, if Richard's handling it, I don't think it means anything. How could anybody win with Richard running their campaign?
I think he's a sweet boy.
Well, I didn't say he wasn't. He just shouldn't be running anything.
Isn't it terrible? I don't even want to hear what the results are, period. I don't even know who to root for.
Oh, we're being silly. Now, it looks like a big problem now, but in a few days we'll be laughing about all this.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. The election will be over, the winner and the loser will be buddies again, and all of these attacks on each other will be forgotten. You just wait and see.
Here's your sandwich.
I'm not hungry.
Neither am I.
How's it look? Shake the milkshake kid. Vote for Kathy. That's fine, Mary. Try to get them out by tonight, and we'll distribute them in all of Patty's classes tomorrow. Right, Chief? Ted, how do you like it?
Fine.
Is anything wrong?
Well, Kathy, can I see you a minute? Richard took a straw ballot, so I thought we should take one. I just got the results.
What were they?
Well, I'm going to give it to you straight. Patty got 50%. You got 30%. Susan got 15%, and 5% voted for Rock Hudson.
Well, I suppose that's it then.
But we're not licked yet. The reason Patty has such a big edge is because everyone knows her. Don't forget, she's been going here since she was a freshman.
Well, it's too late for me to become a freshman.
Ah, but it's not too late for everyone to get to know you.
How?
By challenging her to a debate.
A debate?
A debate helped elect a president of the United States.
The Lincoln-Douglas debate in 1860.
You have been away a long time. Look, we could hold it in the big gym. The entire girls' league would get a chance to hear you.
It's a marvelous idea, Ted.
There's only one problem. Patty might refuse.
Not Patty. She's too much of an egomaniac. That egomaniac. Challenging me to a debate. Well, we know what to say to her.
Right. We say no.
No.
Why don't you challenge her to a game of handball?
You think she can out-debate me?
That's not the point. Ross sold me a copy of that straw vote that Kathy took. We're ahead. All we have to do to win is sit tight. Everybody knows you. If you debate with her, everybody will get a chance to know Kathy.
That's good.
That's bad. I have a feeling we better not tangle with her.
I have a feeling we better. We debate.
Hello.
I just wanted to let you know I accept your challenge. I knew you would. I'm only doing it to give you a fighting chance. I've already won the election. If you're referring to that straw ballot of Richard's, it doesn't mean a thing. Well, I bet it would if you were winning. I suppose it would. I shouldn't have said that. You were right. What's a straw ballot anyway? Especially with Richard taking it. I wish we had never gotten involved in this, Patty. So do I. This whole thing's gotten bigger than both of us. It almost seems as though you have to be mean to win. That's politics. Well, it will all be over soon. Yeah. Gee, this is the first friendly conversation we've had in a long time. Feels good. I know. Patty, perhaps we shouldn't go ahead with the debate. I thought you wanted it. I did. But now I think I'd feel better if we didn't go ahead with it. All right, if you're worried about it, we can call it off. I wasn't worried for me. I was thinking about you. Me? I never told you this, but I was the debating champion of Mrs. Tuttles of Mountain Briar. Well, this isn't Mrs. Tuttles of Mountain Briar, cousin. This is Brooklyn Heights, my territory. I was only trying to help you, but you're too pig-headed. All right, we debate. Right, we debate. Patty, and the entire student body will be dancing in the corridors with a hot dog in one hand and a milkshake in the other. She'll turn Brooklyn Heights High into an amusement park. Well, school should mean more than that. Patty's a prominent personality and a promising promoter, but she is not a president. If the Girls' League votes for Patty tomorrow, it will be making a grave mistake. Thank you.
And now for her summation, Patty Lane.
If you have a Kathy Lane for a friend, you don't need an enemy. What's wrong with a little dancing in the corridors? Things are lively around here, and we're going to keep them that way. What we need is a president who knows our problems. If Kathy is elected president, our biggest problem will be our president. She turned my own sweet brother, who adored me, into a Benedict Arnold. Let's not turn her loose on strangers. Keep her out of office. If she's elected, you'll be setting our school back 50 years. Thank you.
And now for the summation of our third candidate, Susan Baxter. Vote for me. The stewards have just finished tallying the votes. This has been the most closely contested election in the history of the school. The candidates put up a hard fight. In fact, one could have wished for a little less heat and a lot more light. Things were said during this campaign that could have been put under the heading of battle fever. Now that the election is over, I hope these things will be forgotten and all the bitterness put aside in the best tradition of American fair play. And now, let's see who the new president of the Girls' League is.
I got here as quickly as I could. What's happened?
Patty's running away from home.
Well, how do you know?
Come upstairs. There.
Why would she do this?
Kathy must have won the election and Patty couldn't face it.
Where is Patty?
I can't find her anywhere. I phoned you as soon as I saw this.
I've heard of bad losers, but this is ridiculous.
There's a lot of bitterness between them. Patty always felt that she's the more popular. It must have killed her to have Kathy show her up.
Well, it's time Patty found out life is not one big popularity contest.
Write it to her when she gets settled.
We better hurry with that suitcase.
It's all ready.
Hold it.
How could you do this?
I might have known you were mixed up in this. Young lady, you are not going anywhere.
What are you talking about?
You and Kathy, you are going to sit down woman to woman and settle your differences.
Well, there's no point in that. We both...
Oh, yes, there is. You both belong here.
Of course we do.
Then you'll stay?
Sure, Papa.
That's my girl.
Boy, you sure have an emotional family.
Hello.
Say hello.
Hello.
There, that's better.
Better than what?
Cool it. Now, Patty and Kathy, we were a very happy family before this election, and we are going to be a happy family again. Now, isn't that what you really want, both of you?
Sure. We never...
Good. Now, just because Kathy won the election, you can't...
I didn't win.
You won, and you're still going to run...
I didn't win.
You didn't?
No. Kathy and I knocked each other out of the box. Susan Baxter won, the dark horse.
What about the suitcase?
Yeah, what about it? Listen, I don't mean to be a nag, but we better get it down. That truck will be here any minute.
Truck?
The first thing Susan did as president was start a drive for the Salvation Army. We're contributing all our old clothes and things to it.
You mean you had no intention of running away?
Of course not. Kathy and I buried the hatchet. In each other, but we buried it.
Well, I told you it would be all right.
Don't you know you couldn't dynamite us out of here? Where else would we find a family like this with color television? Come on. I'd better get ready. Teddy's taking me to the mashed potato ball tonight.
Oh, I'm so proud of him I could burst.
So am I. I'm glad it's all over.
Hi, group. Boy, have I got good news for you. Guess who got nominated for president of the 5th grade?
Oh, no.
Here's Kathy, who's lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair! But they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find
they laugh alike,
they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.